This week on the show, we're back! It's been over a year since our last show, so we wanted to check in and see what everybody's been up to. We'll discuss the upcoming 7th birthday, what we've all been up to, and some of the stuff that's been going on around the game. We're here to steal some fame on Shadow the Dragon. And welcome to Shadow the Dragon. This is episode number 65. Woo! Hype it up, hype it up.
I think we're a little out of practice.
We're having a little bit of backstage stuff. It's always on the wire. Yeah, it's always on the wire, man. Holy shit.
Down to the wire, baby. That's what we do.
All right, so, chorus, hold on. We got to fix this because now Gallios is Cora.
Am I too loud?
No, my stupid thing's not working. Hold on. Good old Purin doesn't like parsing. All right, good enough. So what's up, everybody?
Not much, brother. Just pretty excited to be here tonight.
What's up, people in chat?
What up, chat people? Olive Zero. Good to have you aboard.
No, Dolvik's here. All right, so let me...
I must be in the wrong channel then.
You should be at SOTD. All right, so hold on. Now I got to fix all my crap because...
Oh, there it is. I wasn't live. Yeah, I was just going through the video clips. Apparently, I was watching Gord's testing thing going on over there. So, Dolvik, what up, buddy?
All right, we're good.
Are we? Oh man.
Yeah, we're good. I finally got everything straight. Looking good.
We appear to be live.
And doing the thing.
And the stuff and the good things.
We're a little
Causing
rusty,
a lot
guys.
of good
So
feelings.
yeah, we're a little rusty. So bear with us. So
a little.
yeah. So what have you guys been up to? Who wants to start?
Oh man, I guess I'll go. Just because I want to get mine out of the way so I can listen to everybody else's story. I have been busy with work a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I had a change in my job recently, so the last few months have been a little bit stressful. Our company got bought out, and there was a lot of change and a lot of being uncomfortable and nervous about the new company. And new company turned out to be really cool, and so it's been a good transition. I just changed positions from sales to a supervisor role, and when we go live with a store or install software, stuff like that. Family wise, everything's going great. We went on vacation in North Carolina last week. My wife actually found her biological parents. She's adopted. And they happened to live exactly where we were going for vacation. And so we got to meet them when we went on vacation, and it was a wonderful meeting, and her family is great, and it was a blast.
Nice.
And gaming wise, just hanging out with friends in Guild Wars 2 mostly, playing a little bit of Guns of Glory on the side on my cell phone, and contributing to the micro universe. But yeah, other than that, it's just been a decent year, I guess. Miss you guys.
Yeah. So where are you now? Which room are you in? Are you still in the family room? Did you go back to the utility closet?
I, I actually managed to stoke out the old office, the original office again. So I'm back in the big office. That's why you can see that vacuum cleaner back
Ah, there you
there.
go.
You know, but I'm in the office now, not in the utility room anymore. It's going to change a little bit more. I'm going to make it into an entertainment room.
Mhm.
Um, me for the computer, and then a place for my wife to disappear to
Yep.
whenever the kids hog the television set. So I'm going to close off what's an open door over here, and probably put some sound dampening curtains over my sliding doors
Yep.
so that she can have some privacy. And I'm going to mount a TV on the wall, put a love seat in here.
There you go, man.
Probably take a couple of weeks, but trying to make this house our house instead of everybody else's.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So
Very
anyway,
nice.
so what's been up with the two of you guys?
Gord, do you want to go next, or you want me to go next?
Yeah, I mean, I've just been getting high and playing video games.
Sweet.
I mean, what else are you gonna do?
Living
Now
the life.
I've barely logged into Guild Wars 2 much, but I mean I played quite a bit. I played a lot of WoW, and I'm so over WoW now. Like it's pretty much what I expect. What really did it is I've been doing 3 months on, 3 months off for subscriptions. So I missed my resub day. Well, I tried to cancel the same day that my sub renewed, and I was under the impression that it would have renewed like when I put it in. You know, so like if you get it at 7 p.m., I figured I had till 7 p.m. to cancel it. Well, that didn't happen. They charged me, and now because of that, you know, I'm pretty much done with them. I don't like them. That and the Alabaster mount kit. Way to celebrate your 15th anniversary. Sell a $30 skin. GG.
Mm.
So I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2. I just got into that. Thank you to Levy. He got me into that. So I bought Forsaken.
Oh,
And
Levy.
yeah. So we're still in touch. But I mean, that's it. I've been working a lot in the house. Got our hot tub in. So I did that.
Nice. My wife
Yeah.
wants a hot tub too.
I love
I'm
it.
jealous.
So we did a hot tub time machine party that my wife hosted. So did 1980s. I had a nice little wig and everything. So yeah, that's it.
Nice.
I mean, gaming wise, I upgraded my computer. So I have a Gen, what is it? Still i7, but it's like the Gen 9, I think it is, latest generation. And
Ooh.
yeah.
Tuxedo, man.
I built my office. I'm in my office now. My little
I was gonna say
8
the
by
office
10.
looks awesome, dude.
Yeah, that was a journey. That was a lot of fun. But I did everything myself, so it's all good. It's a little hot.
Nice.
It's a little
Oh.
hot. I have like 3 fans going right now. So
Gotta
Yeah.
get an air conditioning unit for there.
yeah, I was gonna put the swords under the horde banner there, but it's just there's not a lot of room. So my swords actually are gonna go on the outside of my office, and over my door when I paint the wall over my door. I'm gonna paint. My wife's gonna paint Beware Gamer inside stuff. It's gonna be pretty sweet. So that's it. That's all I've been up to. Worked my second job again. Quit it again.
Nice.
I mean, that's it.
Nice.
Sorry, I had to lean out. The my honey boo was in a questioning mood.
Oh, you're fine.
No, it's good. So Cora,
My turn. Well, my job that I had, I think I was still with you guys when I had that job, ended. I did my 18 months, so then it was the panic of what do I do? Luckily, I was only on unemployment for like 2 months before a recruiter called me on a Wednesday about a potential role. I sent my resume over immediately. He called me back and we set up the phone interview for the very next day, Thursday. They set up the in-person interview the very next day, Friday. I got home, emailed the recruiter saying, "Oh, I think the interview went well," and 15 minutes later he says, "You have an offer." So
oh good.
I have a job, which is nice. Day job,
Nice.
right? It's got a lot of pluses It pays me pretty pretty darn well. The work is not actually that hard. My commute is 10 minutes. Not even getting on the freeway, just 10 minutes. So that's really nice. My manager is nice. But the work itself is also kind of boring. Like it's just a day job. Like I'm not invested in this.
Yep.
So that's but it pays the bills. The real problem though is the culture of the company itself is really toxic. So I don't actually know how long I want to be there. Because they're like we just had to do a like a all hands meeting kind of thing for like we're gonna make a do's and don't list of like how we should be treating each other. So like treat each other with respect. Don't bully each other. Do create like an environment for enabling speak. I'm like, what is this that we're doing? Okay, what am I doing? So I'm still keeping my eyes out for potential other roles. um, I have started studying for it's called the PMP certification. It's Project Management Professional. uh, so that's a thing. But the good thing will be like once I have it, like that's you can't even apply to take the test unless you already meet a bunch of criteria. Like you have to have a bachelor's or undergrad or like 75,000 hours of like already doing project management. And if you have like a secondary degree, then you just need like 3,500 hours. And so I've already hit all the requirements, and my previous recruiting agency was the one that said, hey, we recommend you go for this because it'll help make you more marketable. Because it will show companies that you actually know the production timeline, streamline. I don't even know what.
Yeah.
Can't even speak right now. So we'll see. Studying is going fun. You know, never finish never finish learning.
Yep.
I learned something today.
Right, let's see. Game wise, I have been taking a bit of a break from Guild Wars, not because I don't like it, but I just needed a break, and I was taking care of some personal health things that were going on. So health wise, I'm in a pretty good spot right now, so that feels great. Although I was just before we got on air, I was telling Gallows I forgot to schedule my monthly injection this month, so I'm gonna be like a
Ooh.
week behind on my medication.
Ouch.
So I'm already starting to have some like pain symptoms because I
Shame,
was due
shame.
for my shot and I didn't get it. Oops.
My meds
So-
are just to keep my brain in straight line. So if I wander tonight, you know why. But yours is more important.
A little bit. It helps control pain issues. So yeah, so I'll get my injection this coming week, and I'll be good to go. The biggest change, let me see if I can go get it. I'm gonna keep talking to you. I have a big change that made me really, really happy. Let's see. Oh, here you are.
It's a kitty cat.
Oh, you were napping and I woke you up, and you're gonna be disgruntled.
It's definitely a kitty cat. Yep.
This is Castle.
Yep, Castle looks pissed off right now. He's like,
Yeah.
who the hell are these people?
He always wakes up from naps like a disgruntled 2-year-old. It's adorable. But this is my cat. I had him since he was about 6 weeks old, and when I moved up to Washington 5 years ago, I couldn't bring him with me because the initial friend that I was staying with had no cat policy.
Yeah.
And then just circumstances just weren't working out, and I also had to have the money to be able to feed myself and him. So this past June, I finally was like, I think I'm in a good enough place. I just renewed my lease. I'm not moving again. I just landed a job that's paying me pretty well. I'm gonna get him. So I flew out to Pennsylvania for a writing conference that I do every June that I teach at, and then on the way back, I flew into California and went to my parents' house and got him and brought him up, and he did really well on the flight. He was really quiet, I think, because he was scared, but he settled in really good. So
That's okay.
really
I'm
happy
scared
to
on
have him.
flights too.
He's so fluffy. I just love rubbing my face into his furry little head. Although He wakes me up at 5 a.m. every day. He's my little furry alarm clock. He has decided that 5 a.m. is breakfast time. So
Oh
I
yeah.
have to get up
Yeah.
and feed him. And since I'm already up, and I'm like, well, I guess these are the hours that I'm going to work now on personal stuff. And
Redneck word of the day is sensuous.
yeah, and then around 8:30, he's like, it's bedtime. So he'll meow, and if I ignore him, he'll like pout sleep next to me. I don't know how else to describe it. He's like, we should be in bed, and I am not happy with you. So I'm just gonna sit next to you and pout. And if I fall asleep, I'm still pouting. So yeah, but I love him. He's adorable. Let's see, games though. What have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley, but not on my computer. I originally tried Valley on the computer, and it just didn't click with me. I downloaded it on my mobile
That's like
and on my
what is
tablet.
that? Like 2D Minecraft? Is that it or
No, it's more like oh god, what was it's like you're a farmer. So there is like you are playing your little character and you get to plant your farm and take care of your crops and make
It's like
relationships
Harvest
with
Moon?
the people in the town. Yeah, it's like
Farmerville.
Harvest. Yeah.
No, not
And
Farmville.
I can't even tell you how many hours I put into that. So I'm having fun with that on mobile.
Farmville. Bite
And
your tongue.
I tried it for 5 minutes,
I
and
am not a farmer.
I almost threw up. I was like, nope, this gotta go.
Stardew Valley is surprisingly fun for me. It's weird. It is one of
That's
those
it.
like time sucks. Like I know I'm not like I should be doing something like where I could actually achieve things, and instead I'm like planting corn.
Well, I didn't
Whatever.
mention it, but I have a Minecraft server now at my house, so I
Oh,
spend time doing that too when I'm bored. I built a castle.
Oh,
So,
nice.
I didn't
I
mention it
don't
because
have the patience for it.
everybody's
tried.
doing Minecraft now. I don't know if PewDiePie started it, but like he started making videos, and then it was just like everybody's doing 14-hour Minecraft streams. So that's why I didn't mention it. So
Wow, 14-hour Minecraft streams.
yeah.
I mean, I think
Lord
I've
have
played
mercy.
Stardew Valley for like 14 hours in a row,
There you go.
but I haven't streamed it.
I know
but,
life Destiny too. I got through the starting campaign. I don't know. I got through it in a couple days, but then I went to a concert on Thursday night, so I was home Friday, and I played through the two expansions up to Forsaken. So
I thought about downloading Destiny
I got it for free,
and playing it.
and then
Yet I could have bought it for like $5 on digital, and I didn't do it.
yeah. I mean, the newer stuff that's coming out is good. I enjoyed Destiny. Yeah, it was pretty good. Because it was like you would love it because it's like you can run through a mission in 5 minutes and lock out. So
I was playing the original Destiny, and I forget where I got stuck. It was some like dark zone area.
I stopped
And
at
then
I think it was the House of Wolves because I wasn't gonna pay another $40 for a DLC because it was like $60 game. 3 months later came the $30 DLC, and then I think it was House of Wolves was the next one. 3 months later for $30, I was like, I'm not keeping up with that. Not happening.
No.
So
I have both of them. I meant to like since I bought the second one, I meant to be like, oh, I'm gonna finish the first one finally. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, I have so many games.
Yeah. I have 189 games in my Steam library. So
Oh, I don't even.
Holy mackerel!
yeah,
Ooh.
I'm a
Did I just
lightweight.
say holy mackerel?
Yeah, you did.
Wow,
Yes, you
I'm
did.
getting old.
All right, so have you guys been keeping up on the game, on the news, and
Yeah.
all that good stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I finished the season and I really enjoyed it. And I saw that
Mhm.
there's going to be an announcement at PAX about something,
Yeah.
and I'm really really excited to find out what it is. I'm
Mm,
not going to PAX though, so I'm not gonna go to their.
well, neither are they. They're going to a theater up the street. So
Yeah.
technically, But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm not getting hyped for anything until I see what it is because of all the start-stop nonsense that's been going on since February. And I'm not putting anything down because from February on, ArenaNet has done a pretty good job with some marketing. I know at first they were like really marketing hard. I don't know if they still are. Income and mobile game is shelved. That was one of the Luna. That was one of the projects that NCSoft canceled. They said in their most recent earnings call, if I recall correctly, they said that there are many iterations of prototypes for Guild Wars Mobile, Guild Wars 2 Mobile, that they were considering Guild Wars M, but there's no guarantee that it's ever going to come to market. So, but I mean, they're working on something, and I don't know. I have my thoughts, of course. Go ahead, Cora. I'll let you finish up your thought before I start.
No,
Throwing
No,
the salt, bitches! It's been a year.
excited.
Oh Lord, oh Lord, I forgot my goggles.
I'm excited. I'm
Hmm.
an eternal Guild Wars fan. So I'm like, is it going to be an announcement? Are we going what if is it going to be an announcement? Is it going to be an announcement for like an expansion pack, Guild Wars 3? What's going on? I'm here for it. Let's do this. So I think they said they were going to be live streaming it, so I will be watching the live stream.
Here's my thoughts on it. I have a lot of thoughts. Like when the stuff went down in February, when the layoffs went down in February, I was like, holy crap. Something happened, somebody at ANET messed something up or whatever, whatever the speculation was, because that was the first time in 15 plus years that, well, actually, no, it would be NCSoft bought ArenaNet in 2003, I believe. So it's more than 15 years. That's the first time that they publicly did something. But I have my theory on that we could discuss later. But it was rough seeing a third of the studio go.
Yeah.
It was a little shocking finding out that they were working on something else. But I mean, for me, and really for anybody listening to the show, we were talking about that at like episode 28, episode 29, and Cora said many times, "No, Gord, you're wrong." Well, guess what? I told you so.
I don't mind.
So anyway,
I'm excited to see what announcement they have.
they I'm not excited. I'm not. I don't get excited for Guild Wars 2 anymore. And I'm just being honest. I have nothing bad to say about ArenaNet or Guild Wars 2 or anything about that, but I just don't get excited for it anymore because ArenaNet is very good at still not controlling the hype enough. And people get really excited for these things. Like for example, people got excited for the PvP update, and they should. That was a pretty significant update for PvP. And, it'll bring people back into the PvP scene. And I already know what's going to happen because it's happened 3 or 4 times before. People are going to come into PvP. They're going to see all the changes that happened, the new maps and stuff, and they're going to start having fun and say, wow, Guild Wars 2 PvP is really good. I'm going to start doing this. Yeah. And we're going to start doing it like every other day, and then we're going to get into it. And then guess what? The botters and the win traders come back because now there's people that they can exploit, and PvP goes to crap again. And it's just this undying cycle. That's something that's not really ArenaNet's fault. They could be a little bit more aggressive with banning people, in my opinion. But
Well, I said it since day one. Game developers like ArenaNet don't necessarily always ruin games.
the players, yeah.
Buttholes ruin games.
Yeah.
And I'm being polite. I'm not using the vernacular I'd really like to use. But butthole players ruin games, not gaming manufacturers. That's my personal opinion because I have played so many different games and there are buttholes everywhere. And I'd like to use much more harsh vernacular, but I'm going to keep it cool.
PG 13.
PG-13.
But yeah, I mean, it's something that, and that's just to be clear, that's just my opinion. That's how I perceive it. So I heard, yay, they're doing all these changes for PvP. Hey, that's great. I'll check it out a month after. I'll check it out 2 months after, and then I'll see if it's any good. Because at first it's going to be great, and then you're going to get hooked on it. You're going to like doing it. You're going to start having fun. You're going to make guild nights around it and everything else, and then, it kind of goes to crap. So, it seems that since February, since the layoffs went and whatnot, ArenaNet has been extremely hands-on. So, that's good to see. But, I mean, it's no secret that the game, in my opinion, and also confirmed to an extent that at least a portion, I believe a large portion of the studio was working on other. They were working on another IP. I don't think that they were going forward with the Guild Wars 3. I think they were going to move Guild Wars to a mobile platform and maybe do the first cross-platform mobile PC-based game. Is the best thing that I could come up with. But the good news around that is that I believe that ArenaNet has an exit strategy for Guild Wars 2. And don't come at me with a pitchfork yet. I'm not saying the game's dead, because the game's not dead. Not at all. Plenty of life, plenty of people playing it. They're making plenty of money. It's good to go. But it's going to end. And that's already apparent because Season 4 was, in my opinion, the end of Guild Wars 2. Arena sending to an Elder Dragon and to Guild Wars 2. Dragon Story Arc's done. There's no more expansions. We will get living story content going forward, but I think that ArenaNet, and they should be commended for this. I think ArenaNet had an exit strategy for Guild Wars 2 that was much better than Guild Wars 1's exit strategy, and they're implementing it. I think it got a little bit extended with NCSoft's little grab that they did, which we'll talk about a little later. But I mean, that's my look on it, and I think that's great because Guild Wars 1 shut down in 2007. Not really shut down, but the last bit of new content came out in 2007. They added some festival stuff. They're doing some upgrades now, 2018 and 2019, but it's still open. And that is freaking great news, man. That I can still jump into Guild Wars 1 and play whenever I want. That's great. And I think they're doing the same thing with Guild Wars 2, which they should be commended for. But I don't think they were working on Guild Wars 3. I think they were working on a different IP. I think they might be working on Guild Wars 3 now, but only because of NCSoft. Is my opinion.
The hopeful person in me is going like,
yeah, I know. I see it in your
minimum,
face.
the next expansion at, Dreams, then, Guild Wars 3 announcement. And we'll continue to get Living Story while they work on Guild Wars 3 over the next 7 years like they did with Guild Wars 2.
Yeah. I have a bet with Levy, and he won. Because our bet was, when I heard 45-minute presentation, I was like, Living Story Season 5 is the bridge into the next expansion, buddy. Cantha. And I believe he said something else. So, excuse me. We bet a copy of Shadowfall for Destiny 2. So if I lose, I have to buy it for him and vice versa. Well, I've already come to the conclusion and sad realization that I have probably lost that bet. Because I don't think we're ever getting an expansion.
Honestly,
I don't know personally.
I'm excited for what they do. If it's a new IP, I'm excited to see what they do. If it's an expansion, I'm excited to see where the story goes. If it's Guild Wars 3, awesome. Let's see what the new game mechanics are going to be.
The only thing for me is in the period of making this bridge into whatever they're doing next, they burnt a bridge with me. So when Guild Wars 3 comes out, the next IP that ArenaNet does comes out, I will not be there. I will play Guild Wars 2. I'll play every bit of Guild Wars 2 that I can, especially since I don't pay anything for it anymore. I just log in. That's all I do. That's all I have to do. That's all I'm going to do. That's just where I'm at.
It would have to, if they were doing a new IP, it would have to be like majorly different from Guild Wars, and like the gameplay and the feel of Guild Wars franchise for me to be like, oh yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get that. Sorry, ArenaNet. Like I'm here for whatever's coming.
Don't get me wrong. Whatever they release next is gonna be amazing. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be artistically stunning. It's going to be probably one of the most innovative pieces of software that hits the market. But if you rewind back to 2012, that was Guild Wars 2. And like it or not, I don't like where they went with Guild Wars 2. And I think they will learn lessons from Guild Wars 2 and do better for the next IP. But I can't hang with them anymore.
Overall, where Guild Wars 2 has wound up, like where it currently is. I know you don't, and this is what we have always disagreed on this. I have enjoyed it. I'd say overall,
Well, don't get me
I'm
wrong. It's like The Last Jedi. When I ignore the fact that I was a Star Wars fan since I was 6 years old, I can enjoy not The Last Jedi. Yeah, The Last Jedi. I can enjoy that movie. But when I think back of how long Star Wars has been a part of my life and the first trilogy and second trilogy, that movie is an abomination to me. So,
and we'll disagree on that.
exactly. Which is
But
fine.
which is fine. I mean, we're still friends, and this is how it should be. You should be able to have like vast differences and opinions of like what you like and what's good and not, and still be like, that's cool. I'm still gonna like it, or I'm still not gonna like it.
Yeah. The way I break down Guild Wars 2 is 2012 brought the Traherne generation of Guild Wars 2, and that's where I am. I'm in the Traherne generation, and a lot of people are. A lot of content creators are. People still in the community. That's great, but you can't deny that after Living Stories season 2, going into Living Stories season 3 and Heart of Thorns, you can't deny that something changed in the
Oh no, there
game,
was
in the writing
definitely.
style, in delivery system, and everything. And that is the Aurene generation for Guild Wars 2. That's how I look at it. And sometimes generations they just
Yep.
so.
Yes, us millennials versus you being Gen.
Yeah, us
I don't
old
even
guys.
know what I am.
Generation X.
I do know I am missing something very important from this show, so I'm going to have to step away for about a minute. And
Okay.
I shall return.
That's fine.
But I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've actually enjoyed the change. I do recognize that there has definitely been a big change, like you said. There is before Heart of Thorns and then post Heart of Thorns,
Yeah.
and it definitely makes a shift in the feel of the game. And even if you go back to just original core Tyria that was released, I mean that was hugely different. They thought they were going to do all sorts of different things, and
Well, they
I mean,
tried. They
they
tried.
did.
And then when they rolled out Casix Hill, the original Living Story was supposed to do that around the world and change all those maps, and eventually we would get back to Living Story to Casix Hills, and it would be a different map again. They might still do stuff like that, but I don't think they're going to be as aggressive. I mean, Mike Z has already said that Living Story Season 5 does not necessarily have new maps. They might be reusing old maps and old access and not even making new maps. And it's like,
yeah,
they're working
I mean,
on something else still. They are.
I mean, if we're
They're
talking
just doing it
maps,
with
no,
less
I
stuff.
agree. I mean, the maps that they were releasing got smaller than the maps that came out with original and even the expansions. I think that was when I was most vocal the last few seasons. Was I did not like the game mechanics on the maps. Like there was a different currency for each map, and then there was the I was gonna say Bifrost, not Bifrost. The that frozeny wintry place. God, what was the map?
It was Bitterfrost Frontier.
Thank you. That's why I was thinking Bifrost.
Bitterfrost, your favorite map.
I don't think I've ever gone back to it once I got through the story. I think I think I finished it and I was like, no.
I like the map. I went back there to farm some Ascended Trinkets. Those maps were good. Living Story Season 2, story-wise, was the best out of all of them. Living Story Season 3 was a little convoluted, and it was a little weird, but I think it was okay. Living Story Season 4 was marginally better than Living Story Season 3, but the direction that the whole story went felt very rushed, I feel like they just cut so many things short. You think that they didn't cut Livia short? Or
well, Livia, yeah.
You don't think?
So
Well, hold on.
Say this.
Rytlock, we have the possibility of Rytlock breaking the curse. That's gone. Magdir, where's Magdir from the Ascalonian Hills dungeon? That's gone. Malik, sore point for everyone. I mean, there was season 3 and season 4 were abrupt ends, just consistently. And another, I told you so, because
Codicus, for me, Codicus was the big one where I was like, this should have been like a whole season at least.
But another
with him.
I told you so, because I hope, Cora, you know that you're gonna get quite a few I told you so's. Um,
Why am I doing this show again?
but no, one of my
And me
theories.
without my squirt gun.
I know.
Right.
One of my theories before Cora joined the show was that the dragons were actually benevolent and that they were corrupted by the magic. So back in episode 14, I think we talked about 14 or 15, Gallius, and I discussed that. And guess what?
Right?
Told you so.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I know.
I did like how this season ended.
Mm.
It is the screenshot on my desktop.
Oh, visually,
Colors.
yes. Visually is beautiful. Story-wise,
Otherwise, it was great.
how?
I
It
loved
was
the last
so
few.
predictable.
Oh,
How many people in chat? Press F in chat if you thought that Aurene was really dead. Tell me that the first sentence that you didn't say is she had a piece of Joko jerky, so she's good.
I still think it's fine. I still enjoyed it. I mean, I was still like emotional, like no, Aurene, and then I went right
I
into the
knew
next
it.
chapter. I was like,
Eh.
yay, Aurene! And I think that
Just
was
have
the
to pay
first
respect.
dragon fight, elder dragon fight that I actually enjoyed.
No, I enjoyed Morty.
I
I
did
enjoyed
not,
Kral
but that's
Katorra.
because I didn't get to fight him.
Oh, yes, and
I
that's a
got wound
very
up in the
valid
bird's
point.
nest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played that when there was that nasty bug in there where you couldn't do squat.
Yeah.
I played
Well, the
I
whole
played it
bird's
for a
nest, too.
while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
the
me,
bird's nest thing. I just did it
Yeah.
over.
no, for me,
so I could enjoy
Zaitan
it.
was very just boring and grindy. I think you had even said this. There should have been a second part to that fight where he got down and then we were supposed to be on the ground fighting him, and that got cut to get the game out. That's what I feel. So it was grindy. I think I had to do that one with guildmates originally to get through
Yeah.
it. Mordramoth, I went through with guildmates the first time, and I didn't. They had all done it before, and so somebody started yelling, "Oh, run for the air vent or something." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?"
Yeah,
And I didn't get to the airstream in time, so I got killed.
that was
And
me.
they ported me to the bird's nest, and I was like, "Okay, cool. How do I get out of here?" And they're like, "Oh no, you're there forever now."
/GG.
Yeah, so I was
That's
there
it.
for like 20 minutes just going, "Yay, guys, get the thing." And my character is still like, "We can do this." I'm like, "Shut up. You're sitting in a bird's nest." I was just so disappointed in that. I could not understand from the development side
Yeah.
how that got passed through.
Yeah,
Like how
no,
nobody
I agree 100% with that.
Yeah.
That was weird. But
Yeah, there should have been some kind of way to get out. Like,
Yeah.
maybe a champion comes in there and you have to defeat the champion,
That's what I was
or
thinking. Like just have like a mob or something that I have to beat them and
or
then
you
I
have to
port out.
break out.
Right, like one of
Like
those
maybe
mind
tear it
walls.
down, or yeah,
Yeah.
something.
yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, it would not have been hard to fix that. And so it was just like how did they not
I mean, it happens. It was a
It
poor
does.
choice. I agree they should have done something. I still enjoyed that fight. I thought they did a really good job.
I did too.
I like the whole concept of the huge army outside fighting the physical dragon with the commander and his closest peeps with him fighting inside. I
like the
enjoyed it.
concept of
It was good.
but for me it just never worked because
Well,
one, I got stuck in the bird's nest
The
when I was
mechanics, yeah.
inside fighting his mind, and then on
that's,
the outside at Dragonstan, I could never find anybody to do it. Like I would always
Yeah.
get in there, and there's nobody in the map, so I can't do the map.
But
I
that's
can't get the
also-
story.
that also sums up ArenaNet because it's like it's never the whole cup. It's always either half full or that's it. It's like, oh, this is good, but it could be a little bit sweeter, or
Well, I mean,
this is
that's kind of
good,
with
but it's a
everything.
little too cold. But that is true. That's not just this is an ArenaNet thing, but it's like when they deliver content, that's what it is. There's always like this really good, strong part of it, and the strong part's either story, and maybe the mechanics are a little weak, but then sometimes you have really great mechanics, and then the story's a little weak. So
Yeah. it's everything in life though, in the world. Like
Yeah.
there is no perfect anything out there. You just have to find something that you're like, I like this enough to overlook or to choose to ignore the things that I don't like or the flaws that are so obviously there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're
So,
there. They're there. So, guys, what's your thoughts on story?
On the last one,
On any of it? It's been a while. I
I,
think the last thing we
I'm
covered
up and
was.
down. I'm up and down with the story. Um, I kind of do like being surprised. There were a couple of times through the entire series that I was surprised,
Mm.
and a lot of the reasons I was surprised was because you and I had not talked about it before a show or something like that. We just kind of played through it, and I found out later. But but for the most part, I've been okay with it. Like I said, some of the times I was a little bit disappointed. This last one I actually liked a lot. This last story I actually enjoyed. Um, I was one of those that knew that that Aureen was not dead.
Everybody
I
did.
mean,
Nobody
it was
bought
too
that everything
abrupt.
was sad, dude. Nobody bought it.
Yeah,
Nobody
it
did.
was too abrupt, so on, and that I didn't care for so much. Um, and my brain immediately went to like what you said, Joko Jerky. I was like, "There's no way she's dead. She ate Joko."
and
So
dragons absorb magic.
yes. So anyway, I just kind of felt that, but for the most part, I actually enjoyed playing that last arc.
Yeah.
It was a little challenging. I like the challenge. I don't want it to be too easy. I don't want it to be too hard. Like Cora said, you should at least be able to solo it if you're an above average player at least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, God knows all three of us are at least above average. So it was just difficult enough to be entertaining. I thought the story was actually pretty darn good, except for the Aurene part. And I see what they were trying to do,
It
and
was.
maybe their intention was not to. And this is just me talking.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Maybe their intention was not to fool anyone. You know what I'm saying?
It could be.
Yeah.
Maybe that was not the intention to fool everyone. Maybe they knew nobody would be fooled, and they had to take that step in order for Kralkatorrik to be gone.
The only
No.
the only twist for me was having them showing the dragon's corruption versus the dragon. So that was the only thing that surprised me. I didn't think that they'd ever do that, but they did. So what do you guys what do you guys think about future story? What do you think the subject matter?
Tiny better go back into remission with her disease.
No, that
So-
won't happen.
So here's the thing: Lunar Pixie is in the chat saying she's really mad that they're having her die again. So Timey's always had this chronic illness, this serious chronic illness that, like, was killing her, and essentially it went into remission for her. It slowed down. It wasn't degrading her bones as much, so she was stable. And then now they have it where it's come back, and there. How did she say it in the? What was her dialogue or something like? The end is in. You know, like there is an end date or something. I'm like, if they kill her off, I will be so mad because I have a chronic condition, and this was like the first. And I'm like, I can't even think of any other character in a game that has a chronic condition and is still out there kicking ass. Like she is a fighter. Like she was in battles and she has a chronic condition. Like that was representation for me that made me feel like I can still save the world even though I have a disease that is never
yeah.
gonna be cured.
I agree. I
So-
think that's really cool to do, but I kind of feel like it's really in your face. Like they don't have to be so in your face about it. Like a lot of people in movies and TV and video games try to convey this, but it doesn't come off genuine to me. It's like it's not organic. It's kind of forced in there. And I think with Timey, people started forgetting that she was disabled, and that's why they went with the I'm dying again, angle.
Well,
I think
'cause
that's the only reason why.
You forgot because she wasn't really on screen. She was
Yeah.
just like they had her back in the lab after her robot got killed in
Well,
I forget wherever it was.
it brings up another
Um,
point, and I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to say anything, but one of the questions that the narrative team's doing a Q&A, and like one of the questions was, why didn't they cover Kaz and Jory in
mm,
Living Story season 4, because that's the representation of the LGBTQ community, which is great. I think that storyline was done very well. It's not
mhm.
like shoved in your not really shoved in your face, but it wasn't shoehorned into the story like a lot of like freaking Dumbledore in freaking Harry Potter's play. I mean, come on. Come on. It's not cool. But anyway, it was done organically and it kind of felt good, but then it's kind of like now that's the expectation. Now you have to make room for your handicap or your disabled player, and you have to make room for the LGBTQ, and that's when it starts to get hard to make a nice rolling organic story
I don't
to
I
me.
don't feel it as they have to make room for it. Like these are
But
characters, and
but
this
they
is just part
do
of their
well,
thing.
but they do, because the question that was asked was specifically about their sexual orientation, not about the characters. And those two
Okay, well
characters
but that was
now
that was
represent that community, which is
that was
great.
a user asking that though. Like
Well,
for
yeah,
me,
of
it's
course, but
these
that's
are just
also
characters, and I just want them to stay in
but
the
that
game. I don't want them disappearing.
but what I'm saying, that's also one of the questions that Tom Abernathy picked. He didn't answer
Ah,
my question.
well, of
So
course he's not gonna.
s-
Everybody knows you. They know
yeah.
to beware.
So anyway, yeah, because I'm so horrible. But
You are.
anyway,
You're terrifying.
what I'm saying is it's not a problem that it's there or anything else, and they should touch on Jory and Kaz a little bit more than, oh, they're just watching Krau Katork. Well, when Krau Katork flew away, what the hell was Corey and Jazz doing? Or
Oh no, I had to
Kaz and Jory
strategically
doing?
take my mic off so that I could plug it in. Oh, what were you saying?
No, I was saying that I don't even know what I was saying, but anyway,
Perfect timing.
they should have touched on that character, because now I don't know if anybody caught it or not, but Rox is going with the
Omicron.
Yep.
Omicron Char and is no longer a part of Destiny's or Dragon's Watch.
Yeah, it's for me. It is the wonder of where is the story going to go next, and maybe that's part of why I am so excited is because they brought this new group together, the new Destiny's Edge 2.0, and now they're breaking it up.
Are you invested in that group? I'm
Um,
probably invested in Timey because she's been in the story the most, and Bram, even with as much as his character pissed me off in the last story, those are really the only two I like Kaz and I keep wanting to say Kaz Jory or whatever. I like Kaz and Jory. I think I always liked Kaz's sense of humor and like just how she is, and then Jory's okay. Like the 1950s shtick detective is a little off-putting for me, but I've always enjoyed those characters, and I'd like to see them more as well.
mhm.
But I mean, I don't want them shoehorned into the story.
I don't want it shoehorned, no, but like just because if like you say like, well, these are our cast of characters, let's make a story about them. That's not shoehorning them in. That's saying like, well, here are the tools you have to build with. Like it's not
Well,
like
but they
you're
didn't
building a house. You're gonna use a hammer at some point.
exactly, and they should have used the hammer. I mean, at least at the end, they kind of robbed Kaz and Jory of that final Aureen moment. They weren't there. Why weren't they there?
That's true.
Why were they not
Yeah.
there mourning Aureen like everybody else was? I mean,
And well,
and
it does make me.
that's wrong. That was wrong, and they should have been there. But
It makes me wonder now that you've brought that up, though, if it was more an issue with the voice actors. Because if you can't get the voice actors, then you have to go, okay,
Yeah.
well, those characters cannot be here. So
well, they can, because I'm of the opinion that if I'm hiring you to voice my character, then you're going to be there when I tell you to, because you can't let the loonies run the asylum. You can't.
I don't know. I run things over here.
No, but
Well,
you
but
wouldn't
voice
have your
acting is-
customers
they're
run
not-
your schedule,
The
right?
voice actors aren't an employee of ArenaNet. Like they have other gigs that they have
Exactly.
to do.
But if I'm
So-
in a music band, right, and I'm a local music band, and a big time rock star comes and says, "We want you to open." What do? You go and F and open, right?
So here's
You don't
okay.
like, well, maybe tomorrow, maybe next time you come around,
No.
I'll take
I'm
care
gonna
of
give you
that.
an example from my life. So okay, I do a lot of freelance writing. So I have a lot of side gigs that I can do remotely here at home, writing, and then I send it off to whatever company. Several months back, like end of last year, a company reached out to me with a gig that was supposed to come through for like $6,000, like a $6,000 check. Awesome. Signed all the legal paperwork, haven't heard from them. Like I have signed everything to be cleared to do the work. They just have to send it to me. I'd reach out to them like, "Hey, so what's going on?" "Oh, I don't know. Let me, I'll ping the producer, whatever."
Hmm.
They, every couple months I'd be like, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on?" "Oh, they're working on the stuff, but they're just not ready for you yet." I haven't heard from them in months. I still have all that paperwork signed legally with them. There was no like official dates on it.
Hmm.
So they
And
could
that's fine.
theoretically reach out to me tomorrow and say, "Hey, we need you to do all of this work that you had agreed to do, and we need it by Friday."
And
Well,
that's great.
unfortunately, my situation has changed. I now have a day job, which I didn't have when we signed that contract. So if you're only giving me short notice, thinking like because I'd already signed this contract, it's going to work out, like we have to renegotiate some things. Like I cannot make that schedule work. You need to give me plenty of
No, that's fine, but
lots of time.
no,
So like it could have been
that's
an issue
fine.
like that.
It could have been, but you know what? If I made the contract with you and you say I can't be there at that time, and I have the authority to say, okay, our contract is now null and void, and I'm gonna go get the next person. So that's what I mean by
This is true.
not allowing the loonies to run the asylum. I don't think it's a good I'm gonna say excuse. I know people don't like it, but I don't think it's a good excuse to say, well, we couldn't make this content because the voice actor is not there. Like everybody, a lot of people are Walking Dead fans, right? For the TV show. When Andrew Lincoln decided he wanted to leave the show, I was of the opinion replace him. But all his co-stars were like, "Oh, you can't replace him." Well, yes, you can. It's quite easy. There was three people I would have suggested that would have been perfect for the role, probably better than Andrew Lincoln, But I mean, that's kind of how I look at it from a business perspective. You can't let the loonies run the
You
asylum.
are, but there are the fans out there, like the diehards, where it's like if you do that, like it has happened in shows and like animes or
It has.
whatever, where they switch the actor and the uproar. Or like within there was just another video game company that did that. They switched a voice actor. I want to say, was it Borderlands?
Yeah,
Maybe
it was. But
they
that
got it. Yeah.
you're going into murky waters, girly. That was
Sorry.
a bad
Let's change the
example.
subject.
Yeah.
Let's change the.
No,
We both
I'm
have
just
strong
saying.
opinions.
That's just how it is. Like I'm just saying that's to me that doesn't work. Like I somebody is. If I can't get you to voice it for me, I could find somebody like that. Come on, right? So that's all I'm saying. So so ideas. What do you think's next? They did share some stuff. Mike Z said one of the narrative devs said they're looking into telling more stories about the Char homelands, and there was another area specifically. So, what do you think the future is for Cantha? Will we ever see Cantha in Guild Wars
I
2?
don't know. I mean, the reason why there was supposed to be the Cantha section in Divinity's Reach, and then it got turned into the giant collapse pit thing for years, was there was some serious geopolitical issues that became too concerning for the company, so they were like, okay, we don't have time to try and fix this. We don't know if there is a fix for this. Let's just sinkhole that. And if those issues still exist, I mean they're still going to be there. Like you have to either figure out how to fix those geopolitical your game to fit within that, so you're not offending like a country,
The tsunami.
a people.
The tsunami.
So
The
I
tsunami
don't.
took out Xingjie Island and Canning City and all the slums and stuff around there because tsunamis go out in a circle. So there goes that. the Jade Sea reverted from Jade back into actual
Yeah.
water, and now the Luxon homelands are gone. The Kurziks were conquered, so were the Luxons. Now it's a totally different thing.
I mean, I would love to go back to Kantha. I really would, and I would love to see new story out there. It just comes down to whether or not the company can figure out the geopolitical issues. Like like game companies have to be aware of this stuff. Like that you can get in some serious trouble. There are consultant agencies out there for video game companies.
Yeah, there are, but I don't know.
I know you don't think it, but like I've gone to and talked to like people in the industry. I've sat in on conferences
but they're
at like GDC about it.
they're in their own bubble, and I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. They're in their own bubble. I posted a video in the SOTD podcast Discord that was it was entitled "Let's Go Whaling," and if you have time, you should watch it. You should totally watch it, because you can match 90% of what's discussed in that video to Guild Wars 2's Gem Shop, Blizzard's Gem Shop, Destiny 2's Gem Shop, all these gem shops, and they are scummy practices. You can listen to a week's worth of testimony going on in British Parliament about how an autistic kid who used this mobile game as his only outlet to help him focus and get out of his brain a little bit, he ended up spending $3,800 of his parents' money, could not get the refund. The child feels absolutely horrible. This autistic kid feels absolutely horrible, won't even touch the game anymore, won't touch any mobile game because he's afraid he's going to spend money. You hear all these stories, people spending $14,000, $15,000, $16,000 on cards. And then after a week of all this damning evidence against video game companies, the gambling watchdog for UK comes out and is like, nope, it doesn't have monetary value, so guess what? It's not gambling. Sorry, guys. They're good.
No, there's definitely still some issues, and like it's one of those things where the laws haven't caught up with the actual realities of the technology of the virtual world. I think the older generation who is in control of those laws, making those laws, they are not gamers. They didn't grow up in this culture, so for them it's not real. It's pretend, so it's a pretend issue. They don't understand, like, no, like the virtual world is a real thing that we are interacting with. Just because I'm spending $30 on virtual clothes for my character doesn't mean that I'm not spending $30, or doesn't mean that I'm not playing these loot box gambling systems. Like it's still a gambling system. It just hasn't caught up with it. And I think as we start seeing in the future, our generation, my generation getting in there, the younger generation getting in there, making those laws, having been the victims of it themselves, they're going to go, no, this is an actual legitimate thing we need to be aware of. It's just, it hasn't caught up with it yet.
Game companies spend millions of dollars and buy plenty of senators to make sure that they'll never have to worry about loot box being deemed gambling.
You can name any industry: video games, guns, the vitamin industry is insane about that as well. Like, I just have my fingers crossed that maybe we will see, like, no, loot boxes are a thing. Like the gambling, the gotcha, the fact that it's called a gotcha system. Oh, they're not even being subtle.
The second sentence that this CEO of some mobile gaming company put out in the video that I posted was, we're not going to discuss the morals of the concepts that we're discussing today. If you want to, we could talk about that later, but we're going to show you how to make money.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, 90% of that can be directly linked to practices in the Guild Wars 2 Gem Shop, which is another reason why I soured on the game. I totally feel that the story went down the crapper in lieu of the Gem Shop. That was the change. And the funny thing is, the only thing that's keeping Guild Wars 2 afloat is what? What's the only thing keeping Guild Wars 2 afloat?
Magical graphics?
No, they're not magical at all. Come on, guys, take a stab.
Who, me?
Yeah, you. What's keeping Guild Wars 2 afloat?
Me.
Gallios
don't
is
know.
personally funding them.
I'm personally funding them.
Guild Wars
No,
1.
I mean,
or,
there's got to be purchases. I mean, you got to be able to pay.
what's
the,
keeping Guild Wars 2 alive is vanilla. The content that they released in 2012 is what's keeping the company afloat in 2019. Still making $80 million a quarter, mind you, which is nothing to sneeze at.
I mean, for me, I think gem stores, whatever, for whatever game you're playing, I think they can have a place for you to personalize your character.
Nope.
I think.
Oh, that's another good point. How many people? All right, Gallus, do you believe that Fashion Wars is a real part of the end game of Guild Wars 2?
I don't think it's a part of the end game.
Okay.
I think it's. I think. Well, I mean, what I would prefer to see is if everything that's in the gym shop was attainable without going to the gym shop, that you
Yeah.
just had to earn it.
And that's
Yeah.
Now,
that's fine. It is
Oh, no.
if
because
you want to
can
get
convert,
it quicker,
you can
if you
convert
want to
gold.
get it quicker, you
Yeah.
buy it.
Okay, so that aside, not
Right.
gem shop specific, fashion and costumes in Guild Wars 2, do you consider that part of the end game? A lot
them
of
or
people,
me?
not for in general, a lot of people will say that Fashion Wars is a thing, and fashion is part of the gem shop, or not part of the gem shop. It's part of the end game. Do you believe that to be true for the community in general, whether you agree with it or not? Do you see fashion as part of the end game? I know. That's why I asked Gallios first, because he's got to think about it.
You think about it, Gallios.
Do you see the smoke coming out of this ear right here when I lift? Yeah.
Gallius, do you care about making your characters look pretty? Like, if you log into the game and you've made a new character and you're like, oh, I hate their basic armor. I don't want to play this character because they look fugly. Like, is that a thing that happens for you?
Partially. Yeah. Do I buy things?
It's
to
not
look
about that.
pretty?
It's not about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I see where Cora's going with it. Yes, I do want, because I've changed my look a couple of times.
Absolutely.
Of course.
So have I.
Yeah. So I get that part of it, but I'm doing it because I don't want to look like every single other character.
Exactly. Can you
Yeah.
I
do
want to
that?
have an identity. So I guess it's a baited question for me, I guess, because I don't understand what you
It's-
mean by the
it's-
end game.
okay.
It is
so
a
let
thing
Cora
for
talk.
me, and the frustration comes from the fact that they shifted within the gem store. I was like, fine, we're putting out, the armor sets in the gem store. Fine, I like this armor set. I want that shoulder piece. I'll buy the whole thing. And then suddenly it switched to, oh no, we're only doing outfits, and like maybe occasionally we'll put
That's-
out a
yeah.
single thing.
That's
and then for
annoying.
me,
I do
that was
disagree with
frustrating.
just the outfits. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and I get
in general, round robin, quick yes or no answer. Gallios, is Fashion Wars part of Guild Wars 2 Endgame? Yes or no?
I guess based on this
5,
conversation, happy
4,
yes.
3. What's your feeling? 5, 4, 3. 2,
Yes.
1. Okay, Gallios says it's part of the endgame. Cora says it's part of the endgame, correct? How many people in
Yep.
chat put an X in chat if you think that the Fashion Wars is real and Fashion Wars is part of the endgame? I'll
Like,
wait.
if they're doing Guild Wars 3, I hope it no outfits. I want just
Oh, wait,
thousands of
Fashion
armor.
Wars is the endgame. Yep.
I get so many
Rata.
compliments on the not the outfit. I can't say the outfit, but what my
See.
main character wears.
Absolutely, I do
So
too.
many compliments. And people always
yeah.
want to know what set am I wearing, and I'm like, it's not a
So then
set.
let me ask the next question. How does it feel to play a pay to win game? What is the best armor that you can
if I
get?
think about it that way, yeah.
If people are saying, see, Gallus is smart. He knew it was a baited question. If
Yeah.
people are saying that Fashion Wars is part of the end game and just cosmetics is part of the end game, then you are playing a pay-to-win game in Guild Wars 2, shame on you. And Cora already knows why. Why? Because costumes and armor pieces you buy from the gem shop have more die channels for more customization options than anything that you can get in
I
the game for free.
legitimately never thought about it that way.
That's why I'm here.
So no, I
You
legitimately
prick.
never thought about it that way. So I will agree. And here's the thing, I would of course rather have the armor
Deo!
sets in game.
What's up, Deo?
I would rather be earning them in game. I'd rather have the dungeons.
I don't mind a good
Have armor sets.
costume.
I'd rather have
Yeah.
new cultural armor.
I don't mind a good costume, but like you said, my
Yeah.
my Norn is in tier 3 Norn armor, heavy armor, except for I did buy the God, I don't remember what they're called, the gauntlets, the shiny gauntlets from Guild Wars 1, the Ecto gauntlets.
I don't know. I
God,
don't know. But I mean,
suck.
for me, it is making the
Chaos Gauntlets.
That's it.
um,
Of course, I bought the Chaos gauntlets. You have to.
making the unique outfits is fun.
Yeah.
All of my characters, that's what I want to do.
And that'd be cool. I mean, but it's like
yeah.
you said, it's very disproportionate as far as what you can get in the gem shop compared to what you can get in game. And Gallios had just said in the Mog Discord, he was saying how he got the legendary armor piece from WW and was like, it's too bad it's ugly as hell. Because it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some ugly armor pieces out there that I'm like, never wearing this ever. But I mean, what's ugly to me could be like somebody else's shining achievement in their wardrobe.
Absolutely. And I don't mean to take away from people's stuff. It's just,
but that's I mean,
I've
that's
had
part
a
of the
year to
fun.
think
Like,
about.
if we can have so many armor pieces,
Yeah.
and then I know one of the problems or complaints though when they were doing armor pieces of like people mixing and matching them, like, oh well, this armor piece is cut and weird into this other thing that like isn't part of its official. It's not part of the set.
And that's another thing Dovik brought up in chat. You're correct. There's gliders do have legendaries that are attainable in game at infinitum.
I want cultural gliders though.
That would, well, I mean, kind of have the cultural black. We might get them now. There is a larger team refocused on Guild Wars 2. We might start getting. I can't wait to see what they do for
There were the
birthday.
3 tiers of cultural armor. I want 3 tiers of cultural gliders. I want new cultural armor sets. I would love to see. We had the armor for each of the orders that you could join in the original game. I would love to see new armor sets, like new orders. We never got a pack official like uniform. I would love to see that come out. And yeah, that it's not happening, that I can't take those outfits and go, oh my god, I love those boots, I want to wear those boots or those shoulder pieces or those gloves, and I can't.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to get anything that big in Guild Wars 2. I don't think we're going to go back to those armors, although it would have been so cool. I like the customization of the armors. Like cultural mounts would have been cool. I could kind of understand the mounts. You know, I could kind of understand them. I just wish that each mount had a legendary you could get in game like the gliders do. I mean, gliders. There's 3 gliders. 2 of them, the PvP and Ad Infinitum, are pretty much the same skin. They're just colored differently, and Warbringer is drastically different from the other 2. So I mean, I just kind of wish they'd do a legendary mount. That would be pretty cool. But then when you think about that, like the legendary collections, I don't think are. I think there's just like material sinks. They're more material sinks than like something epic. So that's that. So we got sidetracked. The original question was, where do you guys think we're going for season 5? And
to infinity and beyond.
What might they be? What might they be discussing on August 30th?
For me, August 30th, like I said, I'm going to say it's either expansion pack or Guild Wars 3, and that's all I'm saying, because if I say anything else, even and then those two are going to be wrong, I'm going to get "I told you so" from Gord.
No, no, totally not. Because like I said, I already lost a bet. I think our bet was actually that Levy said expansion and I said Guild Wars 3. I don't remember. Oh no, our bet is Levy said it's going to be all about Living Story and I said expansion. But now I know we're not getting an expansion, so
I
I'm
mean, I
boned.
think part of me is okay with not speculating or not like over worrying
Oh,
like,
I
well,
miss
what is
it.
it going to be? Because then whatever it's going to be is, hopefully going to be exciting and an enjoyment for me.
But the way Fashion Wars is a thing for you,
Hmm.
Theory Craft Wars was a thing for me.
I know. Oh, Gord, I know.
So, and that is just phew, gone. There's
I
nothing in
mean,
Theory Craft. I mean, at least not yet. Maybe they'll come back to it. Maybe they won't. Who knows? But I mean, I am interested. I still say that I wish ArenaNet would do like an exploratory expansion, where we could have maybe several mini bosses that we encounter in a new area of Tyria. Because I honestly think that ArenaNet is like one of the only companies that could pull that off very successfully. Before the war in Krita in I think it was 2010, maybe it was 2007 when they did that content. I don't remember when, but before the war in Krita, I think everything west, there was 4 maps, maybe 5 west of Sanctum K in Guild Wars 1 that had no purpose. You didn't have to go there at all. You could completely skip these maps. And I remember me and a buddy of mine just going through and carving them out for cartography. And it was awesome. There was nothing in there. There was no cities. There was maybe some baddies in there and stuff, but I think ArenaNet could really pull something off, very exploratory. Like just totally new. Like I would love to go to Isles of Janthier. I would love it. Ooh,
new
Dayo's
swimming
asking
skills.
if they would go console. They announced Greg Miller was announced a show. Last time he talked about the game was with Mike Z, now game director, and he asked about consoles. What if they got him for a reason? Yeah, we were. I was convinced Xbox. It was going to go to Xbox
I,
One.
I
We were
think they
talking about
addressed
that.
that already, though. I think they addressed that. I don't think they are going to do a console.
So what are they
I
gonna?
think they
What
addressed
are
it
they gonna
already.
say? Because I mean, even if they brought in build templates to the game, if they want to talk about the direction they're going to go, where the dragons can find it, because if you think about it, Aurene pretty much replaced 3 elder dragons. So even in the rules of majority, she is the majority. She's 50%
We're
partnership.
we are following the gods through the mist to a whole new
I
world.
that was the mobile game. I'm sure that was the mobile game, and that was the only reason why they touched the gods to bring them back into the story, to push them out into the mobile game and push it out that way, which would have been cool. I would have loved to see the mobile game. I think I saw some screenshots on Reddit a couple months back before they started having the same moderation policy as the Guild Wars 2 forums. I don't really follow them anymore, but I saw screenshots and it was an Asura and a Norn, a human and a Char, but the stylization it looked like a video game screenshot, but it was not from Guild Wars 2 at all. And I think that was the mobile game, and it looked pretty sweet. We might still get it. They did touch on that. I know they discussed it in NCSoft's second quarter call. It would be now. They were asked directly about Guild Wars Mobile, and they said there were many different prototypes that were developed already for Guild Wars 2 Mobile, but they weren't confident enough in them to bring them to market, and they have no idea of when anything like that would go to market. So it's kind of not off the table, but not in the near future. Or maybe they're going to
Hmm.
surprise us. What else can they possibly announce? 45 minutes for a living story. 45 minutes. Even if you review season 1 through 4, you're talking maybe 5 minutes of narration, you know, without it being boring.
That's a lot of um
I
new
think
legend.
consoles are on the table. Legend. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just remembering how well the last set of legendaries went. When when Heart of Thorns 2 released, we were supposed to have this whole Heart of Thorns legendary set, and then they went, oops. And we finally got all of them just recently, or are we
Yeah.
still waiting for some?
No, they
It took,
completed the set.
okay. Yeah, but it took them how many years? And then they were like,
But that was the same
Yeah.
start stop thing that ArenaNet does. They had a great idea, and it's like any idea. You have what 14? I think they released 14 legendaries in.
Well, and that's why it was just a joke of like it's gonna be
Yeah.
45 minutes of them talking about the legendary set 3.
That I believe Mike Z already said no more legendaries.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah,
so
it
what?
was,
I mean, expansion, new game, new IP, maybe news on the mobile console. Dovik saying GW 2 Cataclysm. I don't think GW 2 needs a Cataclysm the way WoW did.
Guild Wars,
But
the
they
prequel.
could.
Enter the Guild Wars.
You know, that's interesting. A prequel might be kind of cool to see what happened before Guild Wars 1.
Yeah, when like
Like-
the actual Guild Wars.
That would be.
That might
They
actually be
called
kind of
that.
fun.
That would be an RTS, in my opinion. That would be an RTS. So, oh my God, it's Kit the Traveler. Kit, what's up, girly?
Yeah, well, we forgot one very important thing when we were announcing the show everywhere. We forgot to put it on Twitter.
Oh, the dwarves are returning. Deo saying.
Yeah, I put the announcement on Twitter. I remembered halfway through the show.
There you go.
So our friends are coming.
Not right
Deo
now, Cora.
and Kit
Hi.
and
Yeah,
Pear
yeah.
might even show up because she went oh ho ho on the Twitch. So welcome everybody. Good to see you guys again.
It does feel nice to be back and talking with you guys and bantering. Breasts are loud. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this headset.
Oh, there you
It
are.
doesn't- Am I here now?
No, Kit. I'm just louder than everybody.
Yeah, we're not set up the way we used to be.
Always.
So, we're just
Yeah,
kind of
we don't
winging it with
have our
headset.
fancy. I still have the fancy mic here that I haven't touched
You can
since
see
the
mine.
last
like,
show.
up
See
over
that?
there. Well, you guys
That
maybe.
junk
Oh,
and
I
junk
see it.
still sitting.
See, I still have mine. I have my mixer hooked up. It's all good.
Mine is over on top of my bookshelf.
All right, you guys are deflecting now. We're on to something.
Yeah, we
here.
don't want to talk about that. No, I'm just kidding.
We're on to something here. So console expansion. Do
Prequel.
you think elite specs in Living Story?
Board game. We're getting an RP. We're getting
None of
a
that matters.
D&D-esque game.
What was that last question, Gord?
What was that last question?
I don't know, but it
Oh,
hit me just for a second and I lost it.
Elite specs in Living Story.
Elite specs.
In Living Story.
That could be
Or
very interesting.
Elite spec journeys.
What would that look like to you?
To me,
Yeah.
Where you have to hunt for the elite spec
it would
instead
be
of just
it would definitely be time
using
gated.
points.
It would definitely take currency from all the maps from all the Living Stories. Not to mention Croctite and I'm being a smart ass now. 5,000 things in Mithril, 6,000 things. No, I don't know. What I would like it to be is like Chukin Champawat, like Astralarium, like that legendary journey. And I respect the decision that they couldn't. It was a great idea that they couldn't, carry through. They have
Right.
a lot of ideas that are great on paper, but when it comes time to put it into the 3D space in the zeros and ones, that's when it kind of comes out that it's a little bit hard to implement.
Inside your head, everything is perfect and beautiful, and you can have all these great grand ideas, and then whatever it is that you're,
Okay.
painting, writing, making a game, it's never gonna match exactly what was in your head.
Oh yeah,
can't, and then you start realizing all the issues of like, oh, there's the time issue, there's a skill level issue, there is manpower issue,
Mhm.
there's the actual like, oh, technology just can't do that yet. Like I'm envisioning
Well,
something that's not going to be available for another 10 years or 5
technology
years or
can
whatever.
do that. I have a VR headset. Technology can do that. It can.
Guild Wars 2 VR, there you go. That's what they're
That'd be
announcing.
awesome. I could do it on my Oculus. I have an Oculus Quest. I could do it ALVR. I could. Thank you, Cora. I think I'm going to do
You're
that
welcome.
tomorrow.
I'm okay. So totally,
So,
sort of changing the subject for a second, just because it popped into my head the other day. Where is my VR Gundam game? I want, like, we have the VR technology. I want to be a
Yeah.
Gundam and fight people.
I promise you that is on the way. That is
Why don't I
definitely
already
on the
have it?
way.
there's
I
some on
want to
Oculus.
be
I forgot.
Pacific Rim style in a Jaeger fighting kaiju.
Oh yeah.
Now that would be big time awesome, and co-op it.
Yeah. Who you playing with?
Huh? Where you,
All right, so
yeah,
anyway,
where you have to
let's-
drift with somebody.
Let's
Yeah,
bring
baby.
it back. Bring it back. So Dale,
This is all about having fun, Gord. Jesus Christ.
Dale's saying
Or it's
that.
like, let's talk Guild Wars. I just want to fight kaiju in VR.
I know. Yeah, I used to get 1-star reviews because I talked about every game but Guild Wars, and now that's all you two want to talk about is other games. Anyway, Dale's saying in chat that elite specs are still out of whack. He would know a lot better than me. I did hear about Mesmer basically being disabled in PvP, and he feels in their right mind they can't add elite specs. So elite specs off the list. Build templates on the list. I think that's low hanging fruit that they're gonna try and get out there. No,
What? Say that again.
build templates. Quick change.
Oh, I've
I
been
would love
begging
that.
for that, but I don't know how soon that's coming.
Well, that's
Skill
what I'm
Hunter.
saying. Are we gonna get that? Is that gonna be an August 30th announcement?
No,
No, you don't think so?
Yep. no.
Okay, fair enough.
I've been begging for it for too long, so if I am very, very pessimistic about it, it just might happen. Just
Tabletop RPG. I mean, that I feel like they can't. They have taken a hit. I'm just gonna say when the layoffs rolled around in February, when you start thinking, I was like, wow, something must have been going terribly wrong at the studio for NCSoft to get involved this publicly in the first, because it's not a secret that I frequently speculated that NCSoft was the reason why the Zytan fight was cut short. I think ArenaNet wanted a little bit more time. I can't find the source, but I recall reading right shortly after Beta Weekend 3. I remember reading one of the devs, and maybe it was Colin himself, talking about BWE 4 and BWE 5 with a Q2 2013 release. I just can't find the article, but I mean, I think that's what it was. So for ArenaNet for NCSoft to get involved so publicly for the first time in over 15 years was pretty drastic. And at first I thought, okay, something was going wrong. I didn't like the direction of the game, so of course I'm like, yes, NCSoft is stepping in to save the day, and they're going to fix everything and everything else. And then, a couple months go by, and something very interesting happened when all the layoffs went down and everything else. It was a different attitude, because I don't know if people remember or not, but during that same time, just maybe a month before, I think it was in January, Blizzard laid off 800 people after celebrating their best earned quarter in Q4 2018. And
Well, they
were,
laid them off because it was their best quarter, but they didn't hit their predicted
yes, exactly.
what they predicted. So they laid off all those people so that they would get a bump in what it looked like how well they did. And you can find the graphs online.
Oh yeah,
somebody
I'm
posted
sure.
it, and they're like, there's an immediate spike right after the layoffs of like, look how much more profitable we are, and then right after that meeting, it almost drops down. It immediately almost drops back to almost exactly where it was.
And
so they laid off all those people to just get that spike.
Yeah.
And then it
exactly. And I'm thinking, what's up, Tim? I'm thinking that that's exactly what NCSoft did. I think they wanted the spike. They laid off 1/3 of the company. So when you look at it, Blizzard laid off 200 or 800 people, which came out to be fair, just about around 20% of the workforce. They let them go for that quick spike. And I think that's exactly what NCSoft did, because I don't know if people heard, but now ArenaNet is hiring aggressively. So, and we're 5 months out from the first major layoffs, and it was interesting to me how it was handled, because you have the Blizzard story, and all the YouTubers are talking about it. They're like, oh yeah, they're scumbags, blah, blah, blah. And you know, they have the torches and pitchforks. But when it happened to ArenaNet, it was like, oh my God, let's help.
Well, I think a little bit of the difference of like how it was received was Blizzard made like it was Blizzard going like, "Hey, we are just cutting you after we had this amazing quarter," and Guild Wars was more ArenaNet going, "We don't want to cut these people. We are being told by NCSoft."
No, it was directly. They were emailed directly by the CEO of NCSoft. They didn't even. I don't know. I'm assuming that they found out the same time as management at ArenaNet.
Well, that's what isn't that what I just said? Like ArenaNet was told by NCSoft is the one that said you've got to cut these people.
Well, Activision told Blizzard cut these people.
Okay,
It was the same difference, but it was handled differently in the media, which I thought was a bit unfair, because NCSoft laid off 1/3 of ArenaNet. You know, so I don't want to be here like NCSoft's the bad guy, but I mean, when you see stuff like that, it makes it. This is another reason why I don't think I would go forward with another IP with ArenaNet, because I just don't think they're the same company they were when Guild Wars 1 and even when Guild Wars 2 released. I think it's a totally different company. Their lore people are gone. The people that were taking care of the 15-year-old engine are gone. So it's like, and no, this isn't.
I do know.
This isn't naysaying. I gotta say, this isn't naysaying. This isn't Guild Wars 2 is doomed. Guild Wars 2 is fine. It's moving forward and everything else. So I'm not saying it's dead. It's not dead. All right, go ahead, guys. Gotta be careful.
What they did mention is that they do want to pay as much tribute to their predecessors as they could.
That doesn't matter.
Of course, they can't be. They can't speculate completely on what the original vision would have been, but they did say that they wanted to try to do as much justice as they possibly could before
like
benching or shelving other, the history.
But it's the same justice that they gave Livia after ending her on kind of a
but we don't know that
we
yet.
Do.
They haven't gone they haven't gone forward next. Compared to, I'm talking about the going forward, not what we just went through.
But
I'm talking about the going forward.
That's fine, but they're never going to touch Livia again.
No, we can't do that because it's already been unmade. But anything that we can salvage, anything they can salvage, at least it looks like they want to try to do a better job with it. And not just.
And I'm just going to say, going forward, everything that ArenaNet is doing now is the Guild Wars 2 exit strategy. They are moving away from Guild Wars 2, and to their credit,
and that's okay. They're doing that good, like you said earlier. I think if they're doing that, they're doing a better job.
I think what they're going to do is continue current event type things. I think Living Story Season 5 is going to be the epilogue and the absolute end. And when you look at it, they kind of bundled Jormag and Primordus together already. So, and then we have Steve McBubbles. And when you look at it, Season 4, the first half of Season 4, 3 episodes, beginning, middle, end, very textbook, very English 101, was Joko. Beginning, middle, end of the back half of the season was Kralkatorrik. So I'm thinking beginning of Season 5 is going to be something smaller scale with the dragons, with Primordus and Jormag in the background. And then it's going to culminate to Steve McBubbles. I was thinking in Cantha. Maybe not. I don't know. And I think they're going to announce. I think they're announcing the next IP, or at least announcing that it's coming, because I think Guild Wars 2 is at the end. They won't close it.
Yeah.
They'll leave it open, just like Guild Wars 1. And to their credit, that is something that makes ArenaNet absolutely different and unique in this game industry, that they don't care about leaving servers on for people to continue to play these games, where, bunch of MMOs.
It is one of the
shut
things I
down.
love. Yeah, they do. Because, I had friends that were playing. I'll use one for example, and sorry if anybody works for these folks, but like DC, Marvel, what was it? Marvel Online or something like that? Or
Yeah.
what is the name of that one?
I think it was.
Um,
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I literally downloaded it on Xbox One for my kid, and the very next day servers went offline completely. Sorry guys, big apology letter. We're closing the doors, and yeah, you can't play anymore. See
Wait,
ya.
what game was this?
It's like Marvel Heroes Online or something like that. It was
Oh.
it was like a MOBA, I guess, a little bit. But it looked like it might be a little fun game for my kid to play, my younger kids. And so I downloaded it for them so they could play the superhero stuff. That's it. Marvel Heroes ARPG MMO. That's it.
And then it was gone the very next day.
Very next day, downloaded it, and poof, just sorry y'all. You can download this all you want, but you're not gonna be able to play it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a bit annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's normal with these games. Like, I was playing a mobile game, as a Star Wars puzzle game, and if I like a game, I'll throw money on it. I gave them like $5 and bought a couple of their gems. But now they're shutting that game down, and it's just shut down. That's it. August 15th, done. No more game. Bye bye. Thanks for your money. Make sure you buy the next version. And ArenaNet doesn't do that, to their credit. So, in my opinion, if they're going to be kind of bringing an end, but I mean, the only thing that put a hole in my own theory was, the way they're talking about it. We're going to announce the next chapter of Living Story. Doesn't, maybe on August 30th they'll say, hey, this is the final chapter of Living Story for Guild Wars 2. I don't see why they would. They'd need to have something. I think they just need to prop Guild Wars 2, the video game, up before they do, tabletop RPG and all these other things. We lose you again? I still hear you, Cora.
Yeah, I don't know why, but suddenly my headset is just cutting off, and I have to like reactivate. I don't know what's going on with this headset. I blame Gallios. He told me to get it.
See,
Wait, which one is it?
I don't know. It's the one you told me to get. What is it? Mhm.
it's an Afterglow. I
Yeah.
do
It
not.
is. It's an
go
afterglow.
wireless.
It's different than mine because that's what I have.
Oh, yeah. I don't. Yeah, I did not get that.
But of course, I am bald, so like, your hair fills in all the
Ah.
gaps, and oh yeah,
See?
yours looks more comfortable than mine.
See, Dale
Yeah,
just
it's
said the
comfortable.
company was doing something illegal. A game company doing something illegal about that Star Wars puzzle game I was playing. Dale knows everything. I'm glad when he comes by, because he makes me look like I'm smarter than what I really am.
Yeah, so I tweeted it. So when I tweeted it out, John was the first one that said, "What?"
I was poking.
Sorry, guys, we
I
didn't even
put-
think about putting it on Twitter.
I asked like a month ago. I made the little poster. I put it in the Discord. So I was like, hey, guys, here it is in your
did.
email. Put it out on Twitter, because I do have a Twitter account still, but it's just a bot. It's only there to announce if
Oh.
my streaming channel goes. I don't look at Twitter.
Was that supposed to be my responsibility?
Yeah,
Maybe it was.
yeah. You and Miss
Yeah,
Cora.
I had a lot going on.
Media mogul Cora.
same. Sorry. That's catching up. I've not been doing my Guild Wars Twitter
Yeah.
account where I was posting all that stuff. Life got busy, and then I was, like I said, I was dealing with health issue stuff.
Yeah.
And with anything, you have to decide, okay, where is my time gonna go? And I didn't close. It's not like I deleted my account. I want to come back to it. It was just a matter of
It's time.
I've
but
got limited energy and time, and I cannot put it on that. I have to put it on taking care of my health and then
Yeah, yeah.
trying to find a job.
No, that's always
So,
what that always needs to come
Yeah.
first. But I
Yeah,
feel sorry for
but,
anybody who works in the video game industry because I think it's crap. I think it's you see it all the time where these companies are like, oh, we didn't meet our projections. Activision saying that Black Ops 4 was an abject failure because it made $30 million less than Black Ops 3. I mean, come on, it's just ridiculous. So
I mean, I'm a big proponent of the video game industry needs to unionize.
absolutely, absolutely,
Like, it needs to happen.
yeah, yeah. You're not the only one to say that either. A lot of people say that they should unionize, and then watch out because imagine the union busting lawyers that EA has on payroll. Pricks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's get back to Happy. What do we have? So build templates are
What do you mean get back? I've been happy.
build templates are
Right?
still on the table. Expansion still on the
cat.
table.
I really hope build templates come. I mean, I have been talking about it for 5 years.
Yeah.
That I wanted that build template back because it seems like it would be something easy. Now I don't program, okay? I do know quite a bit about technology, but I do not program, so I don't know how difficult it would be. But it would seem like, copy paste save thing should be fairly
Well-
simple. I don't know why it was never put in because that was a great piece that I used consistently in GW1.
The problem with programming is programming and programming techniques evolve. So now when you have a piece of old code, you have to be dependent on the documentation that goes along with that. And I think that is really what the issue is with Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2 is the documentation wasn't that great. I know there's broken code in there. Even the developers say that it's spaghetti code and so on and so forth. That's nothing new, but I mean, I think so. I think Dovik said it in chat a little while ago that the main problem is with the engine. I think that's true too. ArenaNet's super creative and they have these great ideas, and I don't know. I think Guild Wars 2 got away from them a little bit. But it's still not answering what we think is going to come on the 30th.
Because I don't know what's coming on the 30th. I have a little speculation in the fact that the dragons are not going away. I do think that they'll follow the dragon story arc, and I think Jormag is next. What they're going to do with that, I have no idea, but that's where I think it's going.
If you think about it now, the way I look at it is Aurene has become even stronger than the individual Elder Dragons. She could control all the magics single-handedly. She can absorb all the magics single-handedly. And I think now that, like, her whole blast-off moment and all that stuff was kind of her assimilating with the cosmos, really. And I think at that level, she is going to be able to cure the corruption, or at least battle the corruption, separate the corruption from Jormag.
That's what I was thinking.
From Jormag and Primordius, and those two are bundled. They've already bundled them together.
Right.
And I think that we're going to find out that, as much as I hate to say it, I think we're going to find out that this is your I told you so, Cora. I think Steve McBubbles is going to be Steve the Friendly Dragon.
I'm fine with it being.
I don't
Steve
like
the
it.
Friendly Dragon.
I just never
Wasn't I a
liked it.
proponent of Steve the Friendly Dragon?
Oh yeah, you and Gallus used to sing about Steve the Magic Dragon, or the Friendly Dragon.
Lives under the
Steve the
sea.
man.
There it is. I hate to admit it, but I mean, I think that's what's gonna come, and that's all gonna be background stuff. I don't think they want to focus on dragons anymore. It's gonna kind of come in. Aurene's gonna pop into the story and say, "Hey, me and Jormag just went and had tea, so she's good, or he's good. You all don't need to chase him. Keep Bram away from him. I'm gonna go work on Primo next."
I think it's going to be a containment thing where it's going to have to be working together, not to destroy him, but to cleanse him. And I think that's how they're going to do it.
Another Lost storyline.
I mean, that's
Alter
my
Clouds.
speculation.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So,
You're right.
There's
but
going to be a rift a space-time continuum, and then we're gonna fall through it, and we're gonna be in a whole world with new things, and
You know
that's
what? I
gonna be
wouldn't.
the
I
new
wouldn't.
IP.
I would not be going back to Dolvik's Cataclysm. That would be a good concept for a Cataclysm type event where everybody
Almost like
just
I have
kind
that
of
right.
falls through this time rift back 1,000 or 2,000 years before the Dragon's Rise, and we know how to fix it, and it goes there. And we get a new engine, we get a new like Guild Wars 2.5. I really don't. I really do not want to go to Guild Wars 3. I would rather, because that was a big turnoff for me for Destiny. When when Destiny came out, they're like, yeah, this is a 10-year MMO. So when they're saying, okay, 10-year MMO, I'm not expecting after a year and a half the announcement of Destiny 2. And now, is this going to be the last expansion for Destiny 2? And now we go to Destiny 3? I don't like that, because it brings a definitive close to Guild Wars 2. And and like I said, I think that ArenaNet has a good exit strategy for Guild Wars 2 to keep it open, to keep it making money, because they've demonstrated with very little content that they put into the game that they could keep making $80 million a quarter, $320 million a year. So when they do
I
move
don't.
on, they'll keep it going, and that's great, because that's something that's good for Gallios. Because guess what? I do not see WW, and I'd be surprised.
I don't see it in Guild Wars 3 either,
Exactly.
and I'd almost think that it would be it would almost be fine if they made it a separate module that just stayed around,
That would be
that
Guild
they
Wars
don't
2.
have to, exactly.
That would be Guild Wars 2.
So yeah, but I'm with you on that. I am a huge World v World fan. I play a lot of World v World, as everybody knows,
Mhm.
and I don't. I sadly and unfortunately don't see it coming into into the third iteration. I don't see it.
I like what Deo's saying in chat, an expansion or a living story series where we are perceived to be the bad guy. I like that. I like that little
Whatever
flip.
is coming, I want to have
No speculation,
better
Cora.
screenshot mode.
No speculation, Cora. Come on.
No speculation. I'm not. Yeah, I have nothing. Like I said, it's gonna be a expansion, or it's gonna be Guild Wars 3. I just want a better screenshot mode.
So okay. Now it's August 30th. Gallios, what announcement makes you hit the roof?
In joy or in anger?
In joy. Well, let's do both. In joy and in anger. What makes you hit the roof in joy? Then what makes you hit the roof in anger?
That's tough because I don't know. I hadn't even thought about it, but it's gonna sound very trivial. But give me my goddamn armor templates, and I'll probably hit the roof.
Oh, belt templates?
I
Yeah.
mean, I know it would be a minor announcement for most, but for me,
It's
I
a
would
big deal.
probably jump for joy.
That's a
For
big
me,
deal.
it's a huge deal.
I think build templates are on the same scale as guild halls. I do. They're that popular in the community.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about them the other night, while we were playing, and it's because, I mean, I can remember in Guild Wars 1 having those templates and forgetting that you were wearing a specific set of armor. You go into battle and you realize that you're not wearing the right armor.
Yep.
And then you had to go back to you had to go back to a safe zone to change it, or get out of combat to change it, if I remember correctly.
Mhm. Yep.
And but people weren't waiting for 5 minutes while you swapped piece by piece, then reset up your build and do all of that stuff, when you could go, oh man, I'm in my PvE build, give me just a second. And you step out of combat, you click a button, boom, everything that's already preset and it switches. I miss that, because now it's just a pain in the butt, and I sometimes just don't bother with it. So
Yeah.
I'm fighting with my wrong setup.
The only thing with that is you had to carry the armor and weapons, or it would not. The build template wouldn't apply.
Only only in the beginning. At the end, you could swap them without carrying them.
All right, so Dale said the announcement that would make him hit the roof in excitement is if they announce that they absolutely love the people working at Talking Script. And Mike Z gives a little wink.
Don't we all love the people over at Talking Script?
All right, so Gallus, what makes you hit the ceiling in rage?
If they close World v World. I know that's not going to happen, but that would be the only thing. Otherwise, I really don't give a crap.
Yeah, I don't.
Sorry, I don't.
Yeah.
I love World v World. It's my gaming mode. That's what I like playing, and I jump in with my friends to do PvE. That's why I go there. But World v World's my jam.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Tank said.
So if that went away, I'd be upset.
Tank said waiting for alliances for another year. I'm just used to waiting. See, that's why I'm not building up
I'd
my
actually
excitement.
forgotten about that in this conversation.
All right, Cora, what makes you hit the roof in excitement?
Hit the roof in excitement. Oh man, right? Just staying within the Guild Wars world. Like, if they are just like, yeah, we're going to, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's the new expansion, if it's Guild Wars 3, as long as I'm staying in Tyria and like they're doing exciting new things with story, like just more story, like a giant chunk, like a giant story dump all at once. That's what I want. And screenshot mode. Like, I'd be so happy if they're like, yeah, it's gonna be, however many more hours of gameplay, of story, of cutscenes. Here you go. Because I play for the story. That's my thing. And I like taking pretty pictures, and I like pretty things. So that would make me really excited if they're announcing armor sets. I'd be really excited for my Fashion Wars game.
Yeah.
Books, if they put out new actual media tie-in books that I could read, since they only ever did the three prequels.
I think they hinted at more books.
I would love that. That would make me really excited. So,
I think they did.
I think
all right.
I think whatever they announce, I'm gonna hopefully receive it well. But in anger.
Yeah, what'll make you hit the roof in anger?
They announced that they're shutting down the servers for Guild Wars 1 and 2. I mean, that would definitely. I think that would make me more sad, though. If I don't know, if they were like, yeah, we're gonna refocus on our competitive PvP stuff. I'm like, you did that already, and it didn't work. Like,
well, I'm
not a I'm not a PvPer, so like.
I feel like that was sabotage from within.
Yeah,
from higher up the chain.
I'm not a PvPer. I'm not a WDubs person, so that stuff. If that's what the announcement is, I'd be like, oh, so I just wasted 45 minutes. Awesome. Like, it would just be disappointment for me. I don't know that.
I'm waiting for the news article. I'm not even watching the live stream. I
don't know what they would say that would make me be like, flip the table mad. Because I'm not generally that type of person to get that angry about it or about anything.
What would you dislike to see the most then?
What?
What would you dislike to see the most then? Doesn't have to make you angry. Anything.
I mean, if whatever they announce, if they don't touch on story at all. If it's all sorts of other stuff, but it's not, hey, here's the next exciting news about where we're going with the story, then I'd be disappointed. I'd be like, oh.
They kind of did already, like giving an idea of the first thing that came up was was going out to the Char homelands and starting to investigate that lore and stuff like that. So they did kind of say that's on the table, but I don't think they'd be like, They're gonna have
If
to
you
have
wanted
a teaser cinematic, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think, well, since I love the story so much, like, what could they do with the story that would.
Oh, Timmy's dead.
Yeah, yeah, I think it would have to be with Timey if they're like.
Timmy's dead
Yeah,
off
Timmy's-
camera. Season 1, Bram is Snuffles. Timmy passed away in her sleep. Her and Zoja, they died
Yeah, I
together.
think I think that would be the thing, would be, oh, yeah, Timey is out. I'd be like, oh.
We found them intertwined.
Yeah, if it was Timey's out, we're not going back to Jory and Casimir. Bram is retiring to whatever town, like he's moving back into his mom's house or something. Like, it would have to be they're 100% getting rid of the character, like Destiny's Edge 2.0.
Wait. Tim, would that make you happy or angry?
Bram and Rox are Ritlock's parents from the future, but sent back to the.
That is freaking classic
And that's a
right
bit of
there.
both.
Good job, Timmy.
Mm. Yeah, so for me, it would have to be getting rid of characters that I've enjoyed and that we've invested in. They've had me invest in them, and now they would be saying like, oh, actually, they're all gone. We're not gonna use these characters anymore. Because then who's the new crew that I would be running with in the game? Who are
Well,
who's the new team of heroes?
yeah.
You're gonna build a whole
I'm
third
not
set,
really-
Destiny's Edge 3.0.
Yeah, I'm not really. I mean, Blish and Gorick, they were okay, but I'm really not emotionally invested in them as much as Kaz and Jory and even Rox with
So
as
that
little.
would be for me.
Okay,
It
that's
would
fair.
be they get rid of the current characters and they're like Destiny's Edge 3.0. Really? Yeah, that would be a disappointment. So we'll see. We'll see what they come with.
Oh, you
That's it
kids,
for me.
kids saying console news
Kids
too.
saying console too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, that's a good business strategy for Final Fantasy. But
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing is, would they allow console players to intermingle with PC players? Because I
that's
believe
another good question.
Final Fantasy does not.
Neither does a lot of the other games that are on the
TSO?
console and the PC. TSO, yeah, that's another one. I think right now the only thing you can play PC, console all together, PlayStation, is Fortnite that I can think of off the top of my head, and I think maybe even Minecraft, but I can't think of any others that you can play.
No, Minecraft is
Cross.
completely different. The Xbox
well-
version is different from the Windows 10 version, which is
Is
different
it?
from the
Okay.
Pocket version, which is different from.
I
the
just watch
original,
my
yeah.
kids play it. I have
Yeah.
the absolute zero patience for Minecraft.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I
Final
don't play
Fantasy
Minecraft.
4 is for PS4 and PC, but I don't believe the PS4 people can play with PC people, Tim, right? I don't know. I am looking at Final Fantasy. I'm probably going to play that with my WoW subscription. Oh, they can. Oh, so that's not bad. So, well, there you go. ArenaNet wouldn't put that restriction on there. I don't believe they would. They're pretty open like that. They don't care. They want their community together, which is good. So console's
Custom
pretty
map.
much on the table.
They're gonna have you can build your own custom maps and upload them and download a PVE and World v World.
Eh,
Do you
I think
realize
we're
we
rolling
just
You know how many
bullshitted our
troll-
way through 2 hours
Yeah.
of
player
almost
housing.
stream?
Player housing.
This is awesome.
Player housing. Yes. So
Yeah, player housing.
player housing would be my hit the roof and excitement. But probably would also piss me off because I can just see how many microtransactions that would lead to in the
So
gem
you could
shop.
buy a chair, a bed.
Oh, you can already
I mean,
buy
you
a
can already
chair.
buy-
rug.
Yeah.
You could buy that picture of Logan that's hanging up in Codicus's office, Codicus's bedroom.
GW2 on Stadia. Stadia is a bad word in these parts. Probably Gallius and Cora probably don't know what Stadia is.
No, I
So,
don't.
so yeah, player housing coming with Living Story would be a big thing. I really feel like they need to shore Guild Wars 2 up, and uh, console would definitely be a good thing for them, because I mean,
That's
but
interesting.
how do you do it? Like, because there's more buttons you need than buttons on a PS4 controller.
Well, I'm thinking if you think about it, you get rid of your directional keypad because you have two directional keypads. Um,
Two analogs, yeah. So you'd
yeah,
have to use the
so
analogs
you
to replace the mouse. You'd have to.
yeah, so you have
Yeah.
four buttons on, the X, Y, Z, A, B
I mean,
or
it's
whatever.
possible because isn't Black Desert Online also on?
No idea.
They went
I'm
mobile. I'm not sure. I don't believe they're on PS4.
I could have sworn that I saw ads for Black Desert on my
Mobile.
Xbox.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google
Oh, it might be on Xbox.
if I can type Desert Black Desert.
Oh,
PS.
yeah, that's a good point, Dovik. Final Fantasy 14 is traditional MMO with almost 36 skills at max level, and it's on PS4, so it can be done.
Mm,
For Black, Deo's saying he wants to say that they are going to do an Xbox release for Black Desert. Not sure if it's out yet. Xbox One could carry Black Desert online, definitely. It's powerful enough to do it, so
yeah. So there's no reason
yeah.
you can't figure it out.
All
I
right.
mean, it would be as simple as creating one button as a shift button because you have the right amount of
Kind of have
keys
to,
on there.
yeah.
There's enough little.
You'd have to. I mean, I could kind of see. I think people have put on Reddit their key bindings for Xbox One controllers and stuff like that. So, all right. So,
And
what would?
there's combos. You press a combination of of buttons at the same time or
So, what would
whatever.
tick me off would probably be announcement that they were shutting down Guild Wars 2 for Guild Wars 3, and they anticipate Guild Wars 3 being released in 2027. That would piss me off. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in a different spot with gaming news now. I don't really care. I buy what I feel deserves to be paid for. The only game that I pre-purchased was Cyberpunk 2077. CD Projekt Red is really the only game company left that I deal with that I have any kind of faith in, and that's not really anything against ArenaNet or NCSoft or even Blizzard's on my shit list because you know what, that's messed up. Give me my sub back, punks. I'm not even logging in. So, but that's cool because now I'm taking a year off. I'll wait for 9.0 to come out. They can keep their crappy story. But anyway, I don't know. I'm not excited at all. I'm hearing stuff that's coming out for Guild Wars 2, and I'm like, I can't help but think, yeah, that should have been out 3 years ago. You know, the PvP updates and stuff, it could have been out two years ago.
I think there was just way too much turmoil for anything to be consistent.
There was way too much
at the time.
attention on the mobile platform that was being developed and the other IP that ended up getting scrapped. It was suspended. According to Jessica Price, it was suspended while she was still there before she was terminated. You know, and she said some other things that are quite believable as well. You know, that the perception was to be that there was everybody, it was all hands on deck working on the story when really it was only 2 or 3 people, you know, and most of those people are gone. Peter Freeze is gone. Jessica Price is gone, and Matt Medina is gone. And I believe that they were the major people on the narrative team for Living Story Season 4. So it's a whole new phase, and you know, that's just like, that's gaming, and that's crappy. You know, when I hear one dev, I'm not gonna call her out, but one dev kind of became the face of ANET during the layoffs and was kind of putting out live tweets, and this is what we're doing. We're going in a meeting, and I'll let you know what they say, and so on and so forth. You know, and that was great or whatever, but now she's also the one that's on Twitter like, hey, ArenaNet's hiring, come work for us. Well, 5 months ago you lost a third of your company, and now they're hiring hardcore again. And the only reason why they're doing that is because you take out the people with the higher, making the higher income, and you bring in the people at a lower income, and it's kind of scummy. I don't like it. And that's gaming in general. That's not just Guild Wars 2, and that's not even really ArenaNet's decision. That was NCSoft's decision.
And that's not even just gaming. I mean, there's so many.
It's true. It's
Every
restaurants.
company in the world does it that way.
It's about time we have a
I mean,
revolution.
The number of in all of my job hunting, the times I see like the entry level positions or like assistant level positions, and then I'm reading what they want as skills, and I'm like, 3 to 5 years experience is not an entry level role.
Yeah.
Like the amount of skills you're listing that you want, this is not an assistant producer role. This is a producer role. This is like they're always trying to, or like the ones they're doing like the unpaid internships. I'm like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
illegal in the
Well,
United.
crunch.
Like, you
I mean,
cannot
think
do
about it.
unpaid.
Think about crunch.
Yeah.
98-hour
Yeah.
work week, 7 days a week. I mean, come on. And ArenaNet, to their credit, doesn't do a lot of crunch, but I mean, ArenaNet also doesn't put out a lot of content. So, gotta get those zingers in there.
Mr. Saltblock himself has
I'm-
shown up again.
I'm really not. I mean,
I'm just
it's-
jacking with you.
I know. It's just honestly how I see Guild Wars 2. My headspace now is I will get excited. I might get a little excited when they announce it, but I'm not going to be on live stream. I'm not going to tune in. I'm not. I'm going to wait for the bullet pointed list to come out on Twitter or on Reddit or wherever it comes
In
out.
other words,
Will
you need
most
to be
likely-
wowed first.
I will most
Yeah.
likely be on the live stream. not on
Well,
it, but watching it.
And this is gaming in general. This isn't just Guild Wars 2, although Guild Wars 2 is affected by it as far as in my world. I don't owe game companies anything. They need to compete for my business. And I feel like a lot of people in gaming and a lot of people that play games have forgotten that. And it's okay to like a game. It's okay to really like a game and want to support that game, but never forget that you are the consumer.
Hmm.
And a lot of people have, and like you kind of see it, like the whole great debate that went on. I'm not going to get too much into that, but I mean, it was pretty. There was two sides of the coin, and really a lot of people, not all people, but the vocal majority, it seems, of Guild Wars 2 community members feel like you either like ArenaNet and like everything that they put out in Guild Wars 2, or you're wrong. There's no in between.
Well, I mean, that's definitely not me. I'm clearly a big Guild Wars fan, but I
Yeah.
have been vocal about.
I wasn't accusing you, girly.
Oh no, I'm just saying, like, there. No, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to make it seem like I felt like that. I was trying to agree with you of like, yeah, you don't have to be I 100% like everything, or you're wrong, or
There's nuances
like-
to everything.
So there's definitely been stuff that I have not liked, and there's definitely stuff that I really have liked. I'm hopeful that it's going to be something that I really like, because this has been a company that has put out 2 games that I really liked. It could not. It could be something where I'm like, oh, yeah, this isn't really my jam. I'm not gonna, sorry. And that's fine, because, like you said, one, I am the consumer. They have to try and get,
Yeah.
my attention and my desire. But I also recognize that this is its own company. That's I'm not there telling them like
Yeah.
what I want you to make. That's not how it works. Like, they have
I
their own
know.
vision of what they want to try and do.
Yeah, I'm
So
not.
I'm not gonna-
I'm not telling them
Yeah.
what they should make, but they should at least try to make something that's going to make a player like me, who doesn't have that hardcore element anymore, because it's really
Mhm.
not there, And I want it. I want to reconnect with Guild Wars 2, and I want to play Guild Wars 2, but and I don't have 10, 15, 20,000 hours into the game. I don't. I haven't completed raids. I don't care. The payoff's not there for me. I gave up on achievement points because now It used to be like you do this thing and you get 5 points. You do this thing, you get 1 point. At a festival, you might get 3 points, so on and so forth. Now it's like you go to the festival. I logged in for Labyrinthian Cliffs because I missed it. I got up to the first section and I was like, oh yeah, well let me check out the achievements, and half of the achievements were 0-point annual achievements, and it's like, why am I going to waste my time doing that? There's nothing in it for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
It's whatever way it goes. I'm interested to see what they have to say, whether or not it's going to be something that excites me or interests me, or whether or not it's just, oh, this is just where they're going.
I don't.
Cool. It's good for me to know.
Yeah, I honestly don't expect anything groundbreaking. I expect that we'll get build templates, and like Tenkin said before, I think that the legendary runes was the template, kind of their beta phase of the build templates, and it needs a lot of work. There was a lot of complaints about it. It's kind of buggy. It doesn't really look good, and I think it's kind of phase one. So Gallus and I have been waiting how many years since Colin left for the WDev
Since
update?
Colin left for build templates. Yep.
No, not for build templates. For
I
the
know.
WDev
I know it was
update.
like, oh, the update. Well, do you remember? It was probably in the 5th or 6th show when we started talking about some of the things we're talking about right now.
Absolutely.
It's been a while, buddy.
You can still get the show on Guild Wars on Google Play. We're still listed, all 64 episodes. 65
Google
probably. won't be.
Play?
Yeah, Google Play. It's still on there.
Oh, okay.
And that's free.
Yeah, because
If you go to Google Play Music and go to podcast, we are still there. All the Guild Wars 2 podcasts. Siege is still there.
Oh wow, the
Yeah.
Siege.
That's old.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was my first fam there.
So dwarves are returning. I think that's cool.
That's what Dale wants. Yeah.
I'm
system.
interested to see something new in Tyria, but I would be really upset and saddened if we go through Guild Wars 2 and never go to Cantha. And I think that is probably at a 80% probability rate right now.
I think not going to Cantha is high probability because like I said, I know they had serious geopolitical issues that went
Tsunami,
down,
it's already
and
in lore.
they got in trouble. Well, I mean,
Already
yes,
in
that's
lore.
within lore, but it's not just that it's the way the thing, like it was the fact that
From
how
my-
they were representing the culture.
But from my understanding, it was that Caning City, the small section of Caning City in the map, about that
Plums.
much of it, was very nice city, and then the rest of Caning City, which was the whole northern continent of Cantha, was slums and gangs and ninjas and stuff like that. That's easily wiped off the face of the map with the
Yeah.
tsunami. You can leave the landmass
I
there,
would-
but Caning City's destroyed and gone. Xingjie Island's
I would
gone.
love to go back. I would. I'm not saying I don't want that to happen. I would love to go back. Whether or not it will, I don't know.
No, I don't
don't
think
know.
so. I don't think
Yeah.
we're getting anything. And honestly, I think that we've gotten the last of the new maps. We might get 1, maybe 2 new maps per year going forward. But I think all the living stories are going to start playing out in existing maps. We might get a piece of the Char Homelands. But I mean, look at Alona. Known areas of Alona we just jumped over. Like there's so many maps that are not even connected to the other maps, and there's stuff in between, and it's like, why would I not just go through I mean, people live there.
That still have titles on that section.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a
it'll be
lot of
interesting.
landmass that has not been opened yet.
Okay, so here's what would make me really excited or when they announce anything that like Gord is 100% wrong, like it was 100% the other way of what Gord said, and Gord suddenly is like, okay, this looks legit awesome. I'm super excited. That would make me be like, yeah, what?
Yeah, because then we could start another Guild Wars 2 show.
So
I miss doing the
Whether or not that-
podcast with you guys. I don't miss covering Guild Wars 2. I don't.
I
The-
miss
it's
talking
too
with
thin.
you guys.
It's I miss talking with you guys too, but the story driving Guild Wars 2 is very thin. It's see through. You can see through it. I'm sorry.
New
PvP
podcast, two guys, a girl, in a game.
PvP is just WW. Let me tell you, WW. I get down the other night and see Gallus and WW. I'm like, oh shit, Gallus is in WW. Log into the game. I look. I stealth look. There he is at Ferguson crossing Borderland. He's there with Sue and Aslan from HCH. We're on vacation, but I see Finn and I see Zombie and I see a bunch of other people from HCH. I'm like, oh yes, everybody's here. I'm jumping in. Let me get in the map first, and I'll jump into the freaking Discord. And I press B, and what do I see? A 16-person queue.
A map queue.
I hit escape, exit the desktop, and started playing Destiny 2. I mean, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to invest any time into Guild Wars 2 right now because I really want to see where they're going before I invest any more time into the game. Oh no! Did we bring back the poop knife?
I didn't bring it back. It was not me.
Who brought out the poop knife?
It was Dolvik.
Of course it was.
Dolvik.
So anyway, that's that. I am kind of curious as to what's going to be announced, but I don't think it's going to be anything as groundbreaking as people are saying it's going to be. I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed. We are definitely getting a trailer,
that's what happens with hype trains.
but there is
like
no hype. There is no hype.
But
This
thing
is
of,
this
like,
is how
wanting to be
desperate the but this is how desperate the community is for just news because you say, "Hey, we're going to a theater and we're going to do a 45-minute presentation and here's the guy that's going to do it." People are going to talk. You're doing it a month or what was it? Like 5, maybe 6 weeks ahead of time they announced it. And it's like but what's the hype in that? PAX is going on and at the same time we're going to be at this theater and we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the next living story, and then stuff starts going out of control. You don't even know what they're going to talk about.
I don't know.
Is it going to be a 5-minute We Love Fine commercial, or a I think they're for gamers by gamers now, whatever they change their name to this month. And then there's going to be like a 20-minute recap. There will be a video on how great it is to work at ANET, and maybe a 30-second trailer for Living Story Season 4. That's my prediction.
I don't know.
That's my prediction. And build templates. And alliances next year, 2020.
Like I said, I'm interested to see whatever it's going to be.
Absolutely, I am too.
It's going to be good.
But I'm not hopeful that it's going to be anything good. Oh, yes, that's what they're going to do. They're going to do a rendition of Cats the musical
It's just
with the
charred.
home instance Cats. That's what they're working on right now. A computer simulation of the home instance Cats doing Cats the musical in Lion's Arch. Next to all the people who buy their $40 Skyscale skin and just park their fat ass in front of the bank and block my way when I do log in and try and get into my bank to see what's up. Stop doing that. That's not nice.
Well, on that note, speaking of cats, are we wrapping up soon? Because I know my cat is gonna be out soon. And
We
be like,
are
"It's dinner
wrapping
and
up
food."
soon.
Okay.
That I was kind of at the end. Anything else anybody want to talk about?
I just missed your faces.
I missed you guys too. We tried to make
Yeah,
this happen around the 1-year anniversary. Oh, we didn't even talk about the birthday. 7th year birthday's coming up. What's the gift?
Oh.
We know you'll be able to snag another char backpack. Are they doing the level 70 boost?
Maybe
Because they do sell a level 80 boost.
I do. I don't know.
I
gonna
predict
be,
a Tomes of
raid
Knowledge
for-
eater. What was that?
Oh my
Raid
god, I
story
could
mode.
totally use a Tomes of Knowledge Eater.
Me too. I have like 6 stacks now.
So do I. It's unreal.
What were you saying,
You're not
Cora?
playing
I
raid, you
need
don't
more
have-
freaking soul gems, man. I mean, I've got so many soul gems, I could build a castle with it.
What were you saying, Cora?
Well, I was story mode for the raids. I just want to go through and play and see the story. Like I don't want to cheat and get the achievements or
Oh.
the items. I just want to walk through the story. So that would be for me. That would be a thing that would make me excited.
Tim just reminded me, if they
Uh-oh.
brought the slash guitar emote back to Guild Wars 2 and the Necromancer Guild Wars 1 dance back to Guild Wars 2, that would make me hit the roof in excitement.
The Necromancer dance from Guild Wars 1 was the baddest dance and that has ever been put in a game.
Absolutely.
Wasn't it Thriller?
The females were Thriller. The males like did the devil horns and like jumped
Oh,
around,
okay.
head back.
Yeah, and they were head banging
never-
like that.
I
Oh,
never
it was
played that.
amazing.
So I was like, what?
I had a big, tall, lanky looking dude,
I
man,
did
that I
too.
made with the spiky hair and everything, and he was a necro just jamming out.
Yeah,
was
mosh pit
fun.
necros. Hell yeah. All right, so anything else anybody want to talk about? We know Die. We know Tome of Knowledge. We know 70 level 70 boost is interesting because now that is something that would compete with Gem Shop, but I don't think that's their heavy hitter in the Gem Shop. So some kind of die, and what else? What's the special?
New playable race. I don't.
That Dale, that would make me hit the roof in excitement too if Mike Z did the Necro dance. What else? What else?
I don't know.
I
I've
gave
never had
mine.
a thing.
I gave mine Tome of Knowledge Eater.
I would love to see a Tome of Knowledge Eater.
I would love it too.
Mine was raid story mode.
Raid story mode.
Yeah, that's
I think they did make a statement about that, and they weren't going to go with any. They weren't doing any more CMs, and I don't believe they were going to do anything easier. They're going to try and keep it at the level as Kadim and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't want to go into the raid story mode and magically get the achievement armor. I haven't earned it in
Yeah.
a raid. I just want to watch the cut. I want to take my character through the cutscenes. I know I can watch them on YouTube, but I want to take my character through and just see her in the cutscenes interacting. I just want to experience it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. And even if it was just like a movie, like I go talk to a character and it initiates the movie of all the cutscenes.
They have
fine.
that in Bloodstone Fen. If you go to Almora's ship and you
Mhm.
glide down to the village that's just to the north, almost directly underneath, there's a little guy by the Asura that you buy the Bloodstone rings and accessories from, and he has all of it to tell you the story of what happened, and you can actually see the raid cutscenes.
Oh.
Your character's
know
not in it. It's like a,
Oh.
but it is a story, and I think it's similar to what they did for season 1.
But they don't have the cut. Like, doesn't your character?
It's the
is
same-
in the cutscene?
I think it's the same cutscenes as what you got.
I wish we could get
Yeah.
storybooks again
But they kind of did
to
that.
play
here.
play through some stuff, you know, stuff like people might be interested in. I just think it's gonna be too much of a time crunch, so it'll never
I
happen.
feel like they spent the past year shredding all the Guild Wars 1 lore. They have closed just about every open storyline from Guild Wars 1 and from the bridge from Guild Wars 1 to Guild Wars 2, and then what originally started in Guild Wars 2, Malik is just not going to be done. There's no sense in doing it now. They've all said that. Zoja is really the only open thing from Heart of Thorns that's still, what the hell's going on with that? You know, I
And
just,
they could just close her by saying like, "Oh, she's
she's dead.
taking on a new position on the council."
Well,
She's-
and that was another thing. No, she's still in a coma. And that was
Oh.
another thing that was being speculated about, where people were saying, oh, well, that maybe they don't want to pay Felicia Day because she's big now. And Felicia Day, I know on Twitter, had jumped into our thing because somebody tagged her and said she would love to voice Zoja again, but hasn't been
Mm,
approached. So
mm, I don't know. Don't know.
later, Kit. Bye. Thanks for coming.
Bye, kid.
So,
Like, what? We'll just have to wait and see. And then
oh, you know how many times you said that? If I had
me
a
saying,
dollar
wait,
for every time I said that, I'd be a billionaire.
we're gonna wait and see.
um,
And I'm fine with
I mean,
that.
the one positive, I know it probably sounds like I'm down on the game or whatever, but the one positive I still have about the game is it's good to see that they learned from their mistakes in Guild Wars 1. At least in my assumptions. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit. But I think from everything that we've gotten and the structure that I see them setting up, or they were setting up prior to NCSoft's intervention, just says to me that they had the exit strategy and they're gonna leave Guild Wars 2 open with Guild Wars 1 and possibly still release current event type content. No more DLC. I don't see them continuing the DLC living stories, although they could because they were for the period from POF to NCSoft
Well,
Firearms.
I think a big part of this announcement is an announcement that the living story is going away. I think that's
Oh no,
another piece.
they're all in with
I
the
really
living
think so.
story. See, it's hard to
It's going
say.
100% free to play.
No, they don't make their money off of the expansion.
Like I said, I just can't. I don't. Maybe part of me doesn't want to try and speculate because then, if it like whatever I come up with is gonna, I'm gonna be disappointed if it doesn't happen.
They're
Or I'm
going
gonna
in,
be
yeah,
disappointed.
because like I said earlier, you know, we had the Traherne generation that moved into the Aurene generation, and I believe at August 30th that is launching the Aurene Elder Dragon generation,
Generation.
which is going to be something completely different. And I think honestly now, you know, when I first heard, oh, 45 minutes, they're definitely doing an expansion, definitely an expansion. But now that you know, after a while of thinking about it, I think they're changing direction so drastically that they're going to need to explain it, and that's what they want the 45 minutes for. I don't think we're going to see anything. Console, maybe. They have to shore up Guild Wars 2 because whatever they were doing and NCSoft stopped, it sounds like they went back to it, but they're not. I don't think mobile's ever going to happen. I don't think it's viable. So,
I mean, I can see mobile being viable, but that's because I am a mobile.
I see it being viable
I have my
too.
PC, I have my consoles,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also hugely on my mobile. Like I had to start a new file on my Steam account for like here's all these Steam games that I paid and downloaded, but I've also paid and downloaded them on mobile. So like
Well,
put them in that
but
file.
technology has advanced so much that Guild Wars 2 could play on a mobile phone and still look good.
Right? So that's why I'm like it's not
I honestly don't
out of
think that they were going that their next IP, their next PC IP was going to be in the Guild Wars universe. I think it was something
Yeah, I
totally
think-
different. And I think what happened now
agree.
is NCSoft said you have a cash cow that you're walking away from. You're not doing that. Take this and make what you were working on into Guild Wars 3 if you're going to do it, but you're not leaving Guild Wars. And I think that's what it came down to. Who knows? We'll never know. Gallus, you excited for the announcement on the 30th?
No, I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued
Not
too.
excited.
I'm not excited.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I still love Guild Wars 2 regardless. It's where most of my family is. It's where I enjoy I have yet to find a game that I fell in love with the combat system like I did with Guild Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
still have
fair.
yet to find that. I have yet to find something with prettier art and design.
I think Black Desert Online blows it away.
I freaking hate Black Desert Online graphics. I hate them.
I think it blows.
I have a
away.
specific. Well, it's a specific style that I
Yeah.
enjoy, and Guild Wars 2 happens to have it.
Yeah.
I
And
like
and
Guild Wars
that's
style,
that's
but
what-
I do acknowledge that Black Desert graphics are amazing. They are. But I like the art style of Guild Wars 2 better. Although Black Desert Online was smart. They recognized people like taking game screenshots, and it's free advertisement for the game. They built an amazing system for it, and then I go into Guild Wars 2 to take a screenshot, and I'm like, I just want to get the camera to drop down. God dang it! So,
Yeah.
and my cat is coming here to tell me it's bedtime.
Okay.
Come here, Castle. Come here.
So
Yeah. So anyway, I think we should wrap it up and
I do too. That
give
went
our
fast.
kisses and hugs and how much we have missed everyone and each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll have to do this again soon sometime.
It's up to you guys.
It doesn't have to even be about Guild Wars. Just fun hanging out and talking.
Yeah.
I mean, they could turn it
definitely.
around. They could turn it around.
I
but-
say we plan to possibly if it's something major, maybe we should talk after the announcement.
You guys tell me.
Give it a little
This is-
time.
I'm
Let's just
always-
This is easy peasy. I took about an hour to
I'm
set
always
this up,
to
and
talk
I'm done.
any games. We can talk. It doesn't have to be Guild Wars.
Destiny 2. That's my new. That's the Horde banner's coming down, and I'm putting up my Titan banner.
I'm gonna have to check out Destiny 2. I've had more than one person tell me I should try
Now, are you
playing
playing
it.
it on your computer?
Oh yeah, PC.
Okay.
That's why it's much more fun. I enjoy playing
Okay.
an FPS on with a keyboard and mouse much better than I do on controller. I can
Okay,
play it
maybe
on
that's why-
controller, but keyboard mouse rules.
Maybe that's why it didn't click with me, because I have it for Xbox, and I was
Yeah, I like
maybe if I try it on PC.
I like it. It's fun. But the other thing too is it's fun because I'm playing with other people. So we're doing strike, we were doing the event that was up. And I could do that in Guild Wars 2 again, but it's like eh. If I see Gallus and WW and there's no queue, I'll go.
I'll just text you and say, "Hey, bro, there's no queue." Last night, there was no queue at Reset, which hasn't happened in forever. It
Yeah.
was a bit wild, but yeah,
Well,
I'll just text you. No excuses.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no queue, I'll come in. I'll play. I got my Warbringers. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna grind tickets to get a legendary. I could. Get
I just play to
legendaries.
play. I don't play it for those cheap. Those just happen to come. I have so many freaking tickets. If they would let me give them to you, I would put them on a plate and say,
There
"Here you go, buddy. You can have these," because
But
I'll
that's
forget about making anything,
but
and then
that's where
I'll
I'm
get
at.
more again.
I have no desire. I mean, I should desire to make a heavy, medium, and a light legendary set through WW. I should, but
I just like
Destiny
I said,
too.
that's where we were different. You
Mhm.
like getting those achievements. I could give a
well,
shit
that's what I play for.
about the achievements. They just happen to be there, and I'm like excited, but like my excitement is I want to take a group of 10 people and beat the crap out of a group of 20, or
Yeah,
heck, even if it's
I've
1v1, that's
I've
what
done
I
it.
want to do.
we've done it.
That's where
We've done the 3-hour standoffs with Blackgate. You were there with me when that one commander pushed out because Blackgate pinned us in garrison for 3 hours of reset, and we chased him off the freaking map. Remember? I remember
Yeah,
that.
that's the parts I like doing. I
Yeah,
could
but
care less
you know
about the
what?
achievement
You could
parts.
talk about it all
They're
you
bonuses.
want. You talk about it all you want, but you don't have that shiny little nameplate that says "God walking amongst mere mortals, motherfucker."
I don't
Oh.
care.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody still knows what, but I still have that one that says MOG Galio Shardblade on the top.
My
You
cat
don't
just-
have one of those.
Okay, my cat is now biting me to tell me to get off.
I know we're going away. We're just having
All right.
fun now.
So, Corey, do you
Go
have any
ahead
shout
and get it,
outs?
buddy?
Do I have any shout outs? No.
We didn't prepare for shout
No.
outs.
I haven't been doing anything. Thanks to people who continue to follow me on my Twitter account, even though I haven't done anything in over a year. I promise I'm going to work on fixing that.
Wow, it's been over
So-
a year.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm.
My health took a really bad turn there for a while.
Well, I mean
and,
that happens. Yeah. Galios.
Yeah.
Shout outs.
Man, I guess tons of them I want to do right now. I'll try to make them as brief as possible. I want to first thank everyone that showed up tonight. Even though I failed to do the Twitter in a good amount of time, thank y'all for coming in and watching us make fools of ourselves once again. I also want to thank my guildies in the game for still making it fun to play, and that would be the Minions of Grenth, along with the sister guilds of Surstrom Vestry and the Wolf Pack and so on. And then I want to say hi to my friends at HCH and thank them for pushing the show tonight as well. And everybody else that I play with in the game, all my friends. If I had to name everybody, it would take me all night. So thank you all. Shout out to all of you guys.
All right. My shout outs to Tulsi Gabbard. Fuck yeah. Next president of the United States, baby. If you don't know who she is, Google her. Because she sued him.
Google her.
She sued him so they can't suppress her anymore.
Just
Anyway.
Google her.
Anyway. That's all I got.
So retarded.
That's all I got.
All right.
Destiny 2. Woo! Shadowkeep, October 1st.
All right. Say goodnight, Gord.
All right. Good night, Gord.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thanks
Bye,
for coming.
everybody.